see. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. All right, let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see. Let's see. Do 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 do. Boom, boom, boom. We look good to go. We looking good to go. Boom, boom, boom. We looking good. We looking good. That looks good. Yo, we looking good, chat. Yeah! Team Region! Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. What's up, Team Region? Good morning, y'all. What is going on, everybody? Good morning, good morning. What's up, Team Region? Oh, I've been waiting for this FNCS watch party. The best of the best is going at it in the world right now, and we're going to be watching them play. Today is the FNCS Major Finals Day 2, and we're going to see who's going to be qualifying for Globals. I'm excited, so if y'all do want to see the best of the best in the world play, we're about to have a chance to watch them play. It's going to be super good. But before we get into it, if you just got into the stream, you're new to the stream, whatever the case may be, make sure y'all go ahead and type good morning in the chat. And let me introduce myself. I'm Heart of the Region, full-time content creator and streamer. What's up, y'all? Good morning, Team Region. Good morning, good morning. AMP, Dilly, Taz, Robin, 1978, J-Dub, Only, Cabbage Jack, Juicy, Cherry, Buff, Dre, Gale, 10K, Paul, Torres, Anna, the one and only Goliath. What's up, man? Good to see you, bro. Ty, what's up, my guy? Unwanted Spin, the limits the sky. Scarlita. Good morning, man. How we feeling? John, what's up, man? Good to see you. Smath, what's up, young lady? Dre, what's up, bro? Good to see you, man. Steamer. Pooh, Jahari, good morning, man. What's up, y'all? Good morning, good morning. Yo, Shay, what's up, fam? Ashley, good morning, man. Good afternoon, I mean. Arsenal, Queen Dage, what's up, Queen? Good morning, fam. How we feeling this morning, man? Hey, Peter Bot the truth, bro. I'm going to let y'all know now, man. Y'all about to see Peter Bot, the greatest Fortnite player of all time play. He is the GOAT. He's the best player in the world, in my opinion. Poyo's up there as well, but y'all going to see some of the greatest players in the world play. Yeah. So we're watching Poyo and some of his teammates kind of practice right now before they play. Peter Bot and his teammates play. So I'm excited, man. Yeah, Alex is pretty good too. Yeah. Yo, what's up, Dilly Goat? Good to see you, my guy. What's up, Shay? What's going on, man? Michelle, good morning. What's going on, man? I got a radio voice. I got a radio voice for real, man. What's up, man? Michelle, good morning. What's up, Michelle? How's it going, man? Clicks is really good, man. I want to see Clicks win the FNCS before it's all said and done. I want him to win at least one. You know what I'm saying? That would be pretty good, right? Rios, what's going on, man? Lou, good morning. Tiff Dog, Big Dog, what's up, man? Good morning, y'all. These 2 days got me fired up, and we got some work to do, Smath. We got some work to do, man. Yeah, I'm liking the afternoons, man. I'm liking the afternoons too. So we'll see what we end up doing. We'll see. But I like it so far, man. I've been enjoying it. Man. Dave, what's up, man? Good to see you, my boy. Good to see y'all. Good morning, man. Yeah, so the game starting in 10 minutes. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and show y'all in a little bit. Right now, we're just watching the GOAT himself, Peter Bot, play right now. That's what we're watching. Watching Peter Bot play right now. So, yeah, I got y'all, man. John, what's up, man? Good morning, man. Yeah, I'm excited, man. How's everybody feeling this afternoon, man? Don't it feel weird that I'm streaming in the afternoon? Like, it feels so weird to me, chat, that I'm streaming in the afternoon. It just feels so different. You know, it feels so different. You know? So different. But I like it, though, you know? Pasha, what's up, man? Jose Robin, what's up, bro? Scooby, Doobie Doo, what's up, bro? What's up, Drip? Yeah, yeah. I might continue to do these 2-a-days, man. I like it too, man. I like the 2-a-days because it gives me time to kind of get some work done, work out a little bit, eat, talk to my family, and kind of get back on for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I like it, dog. Yeah, I like it. I like it, man. Yes, we will be doing customs this weekend, y'all. Customs this weekend. Make sure y'all part of the Discord, man. Make sure y'all part of Discord. I'll let y'all know more about the Discord. If you're not in Discord, you can't play customs. So make sure you're in the Discord to play. Yeah, I got you, child. I got you, my boy. What's up, Robin? I've been sleeping. I've been getting a couple hours. Not as much as I want, but we'll be all right. And what's up, my guy? Good morning, Nat. What's up, big dog? What's going on, man? Good morning, team. Queen, what's up, Queen? Yeah, exclamation mark Discord, man. Make sure y'all doing the Discord, man. Yeah, we're going to be doing customs this Saturday. I'm excited. All right, y'all. Yeah, I'll be all right, man. Nah, you good, Robin. I totally understand, man. Yeah, nah, it's all family here, man. I totally understand. Yeah, I'm feeling good, man. I feel good. Yeah, like today's my last long day. I know tomorrow I'm gonna get some rest. Tomorrow, Wednesday, I'm gonna get some rest. But I don't know. I'm thinking about maybe on weekends I do doubles. Think about weekends I might do doubles because I've been really enjoying these double streams. What y'all think, Chad? Yeah, so the best player in the world right now is Peter Bot, hands down. Yeah, I got Peter Bot. He's the best. He's the best player in the world, man. He is so good. Y'all gonna see. Yeah, Peter Bot is so good, bro. Yo, what's up, Ty? Good to see you, my guy. What's up, Leos? Ace, what's up, my boy? Yo, what's up, Smath? What's poppin', man? Good morning, fam. John, what's up, bro? What's up, Leos? What's up, Supreme? Good to see you, my guy. Good morning, man. What's up, buddy? What's up, John? Good to see you, bro. Yeah, I'm excited, man. We about to get started with this, man. It starts in 5 minutes. I'm excited, man. Yeah, so we get to see the best players in the world play right now. So what happens is at the end of every season, they do like a tournament to see who qualifies for the big tournament, basically, right? And so this is one of the last ones. I think this is the last majors before like the global FNCS happens. So I think next season will be the international one where everyone in the world comes together and plays, not mistaken. So that's going to be exciting because last year we did a watch party for the globals, which was super fun. And Poyo and Peter Bot clutched up. So I think this might be the last majors, I think, before globals, not mistaken. Yeah, because it's typically around this time of the year, too. See how hard you gonna hop on, man? No, I don't build, man. But if I ever decide to build, I would definitely compete. For sure. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Billy Thornton coming in with the resub for 4 months, man. Hey, Billy, appreciate you subscribing for 4 months, man. First sub of the stream, man. Thank you, bro. What's going on, brother? Good to see you again, man. Taco, what's up, bro? What's going on, big dog? Yeah, if I ever build, I would play competitively, 100%. 100% would, for sure, bro. Yeah. Yo, what's up, Kate? Good morning, man. What's up, John? What's up, Ant? Good to see you, bro. Okay. Hi, Bill G. Oh, brother. Bro, Chad, do I look like a Bill G? Oh. Yo, calling me Bill G is so crazy, bro. Hello, Bill G. So crazy, bro. Taco, man. Good, man. How you feeling, man? It's cool, Deja. It happens, man. It happens. Durbin, what's up, man? Good morning, fam. What's up, Durbin? Juicy said, kinda. Oh, man. What's up, Supreme? You said, why don't play zero bill rank? It doesn't make sense, man. I'm a content creator, bro. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a creator, bro. I don't, it makes no sense. The only way that you would see me get into something like that if I go play builds. Yeah, I think from a competitive standpoint, for zero builds doesn't make sense only because there's no FNCS. So until they bring in FNCS, I wouldn't even try to compete. Doesn't make sense, you know? So, yeah. You know, I'm a creator, man. I create content, bro. You know what I'm saying? So me winning or losing does not matter. You know, it's how I develop my content. It's how do I basically develop it to you all so it appeals to y'all. Like, that's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? So, but if I ever play builds, yes, I would play ranked. I would go play for these cash cups and all that. If I ever played builds, yes, I would. Yeah, you know, because then I'm in the NBA. You know, I got to go for the ring in the league. You know what I'm saying? Got to go for the ring. You feel what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm good, fam. I'm just chilling. Let's go, Taco. Let's go, my boy. Dr. Doofensmirts. What's up, Taco? What you been up to, brother? Good to see you, man. Yeah, it'll be taken off, Nisha. Yeah, automatically gets taken off for the tournaments. Yeah. So you'll see. You'll see how they do it. You'll see. Yeah. Yeah, so there's going to be an announcer and whole thing. You're going to see. It's super cool. I love these tournaments, man. They're super good. Yeah. So my favorite Bills player is the GOAT. I'm going to go with Peterbot. Peterbot is so good, bro. He is so freaking good, bro. So good. Like, it's unfreaking believable how good he is. You know. Like, I've seen him at the highest stage take out, like, full lobbies. Like, last FNCS Globals, oh my goodness. Pollo got knocked. He literally, like, took out the whole lobby, 1v2 the last team and won, bro. It was like, he is that good, bro. Like, Peterbot is so good. So, I'm hoping he repeats this year. But the thing is, too, Pollo's not on his team. Pollo's actually really good, too. I think Pollo's the top 5 player in the world. So, that's kind of intriguing, too. Yeah. So, we'll see, man. Then you got Clicks, too. So, mind you, Clicks is in here. I want Clicks to win his first FNCS. I think Clicks is such a great creator. And, you know, he's so close to getting there. And I think this might be the time for him to actually win an FNCS. So hopefully with the next Globals, I want Clicks to have an opportunity to win. Do I think he's better than Peterbot? No. But I think if they make the right rotations and make the right plays, they might be able to pull it out. You never know. You know, but Peterbot is still the best in the world. So, yeah, as long as you got Peterbot in the equation, man, it's going to be an interesting game, man. But Pollo's super good. You know what I'm saying? Like, Pollo's so good. That's the thing. Like, people forget how good Pollo is. And so, let me explain what I mean, too. Like, so last Globals, when Pollo kept going down and Peterbot was clutching up, right? A lot of people had the narrative like Pollo wasn't a top 5 player in the world after that specific tournament, right? Because the moments, if you watch it, you know what I'm talking about. However, even with that being said, Pollo's still a top 5 player. Is he better than Peterbot? No. But is he close? Yeah. You know, so that's what made them so good, where it was like you had 2 of the top 5 players in the world running duos for Globals. I mean, they're great players, you know. Great players, man. So, all right, y'all. I think it's about to start, y'all. Yeah, I think it's about to start. Yeah, about to start. All right, y'all. Major, there it goes, baby.
To what they all want. It's the only thing they care about, that in-person event in Leon. Oh my gosh, they gotta be nervous, and I'm a little bit nervous too.
Bro, right? It's like, oh yeah, in most situations you're thinking, yeah, let's go ahead and get as close to first, let's get a bunch of money. No, we want to qualify, right? It doesn't matter about anything else. If we can make it to Leon, we know we will have done what we came here to do. My gosh. So what happened? What got us here? Let's take a look at those standings. Remember, 6 games kind of set the stage coming into today. And if we look right at the top, Ritual, Cold, Peterbot still lead the way, you know, especially given all of those solo clutch performances by each member on that trio to be starting day 2 with 440 points. Oh my God, Kelly.
Peterbot, baby.
To me, it looks like history is repeating itself. We saw in Major 2 that Peterbot's trio was 50 points ahead of second place after day number 1. In fact, if you look at those stats from day 1 Major 2, they have the exact same average placement of 4.83 that they do after day 1 yesterday. And honestly, with how strong they've been, being able to make it to every end game, the amount of eliminations that they're able to get, Vivid, the story of the rivalry between Peterbot and Pollo might be reaching its conclusion.
I know, right? That's what we've been leading up to that, right? The whole entire season, then the whole off spawn thing.
I keep telling people, man,
right now,
Pollo's good. He's not better than Peterbot.
Is it really
Pollo
worth
is good,
talking about that?
but he's not better than Peterbot.
And you want to know something, Kelly? I think it's very worth it. For me personally, today I'm going to talk about Acorn, Pollo, and Agers yesterday. Those first 2 games, absolutely incredible stuff. So much so that we saw a social post. Resub went out and said he was like, "Oh my gosh, are we about to see them win 12 out of 12?" And then quickly after that, potentially a little bit of a caster curse returning from Reese right there.
Thanks,
They
Reese.
went down in game number 3 very, very quickly. Game number 4, in the middle of that game, they went down again. And it was just like, oh my gosh, like, we were all just like, wow, we thought we were going to have a 2-horse race throughout the entirety of this FNCS, right? And then game number 3 and game number 4 happened. How did that happen? Games 1 and games 2 looked so good. And of course, they bounced back in games number 5 and 6.
I'm gonna let y'all know,
They kept
man.
themselves in contention.
This is gonna be a really good game, bro.
But Kelly, those games,
because
5
Pollo and
game
them was
6,
a
I
really
didn't
good team. Like
didn't
Agers
look
and all
like
them,
they were
they're so
It didn't
good,
look
bro.
like they were the trio that we saw
You got
in
Bolts,
games number
who's
1
such a
and 2.
good
And honestly,
player.
justifying it myself, being
Got a lot of great
professional
players in
player,
here,
was like,
man.
well, mentally, they're probably chalked, right? This is like, wow, this FNCS is absolutely gone. We got to fight Peterbot in these little like rat spots. He's hiding around corners and everything like that. Like the FNCS has done it. And so much so, not to mention, we're blessed, by the way, right? We got Aussie Antics. He's down there in the mix of things. He's in the Dignitas house where Acorn, of course, lives. And he got a chance to do a little interview with Acorn right after the games ended yesterday. And he was like, you know, what's going on, Acorn? Like, how are you feeling throughout the day? And he was like, listen, after game number 4, I just wanted to land on Peterbot. Like, that's all he wanted to do. And to me, I'm like, yeah.
Hey, people
that makes
be
sense,
hating
right?
on
I was kinda
Peterbot,
just
bro.
justifying that mentally speaking. It didn't really look like they were in it in games number 5 and 6. And that kind of
Oh my goodness.
backs that up for me. It's like, how are you thinking about returning to fighting one of the best trios in the game when there's still so much to play for, right? You're kind of not worrying about your own game plan. You're worrying about landing on somebody else. So,
But
for me,
Chet,
Kelly,
that's
all
what I
I want to
kept
say
saying,
today
bro.
is a nice,
And
clean
I think
mental
people don't
reset.
understand
I want
about
those
this.
games 1 and game 2, Acorn, Pollo,
Because
Rangers back, and I
Peterbot, it's
think at
like
the end of the day,
Peterbot
we're
is
gonna
like the
have a
Michael
2-horse
Jordan
race.
of Fortnite right now.
It's really interesting the
Like,
dichotomy that
he
we
is
saw
so
from their
good that you
emotions
have
impacting
people
their
literally
gameplay
getting out of their
throughout
own
day
game
1,
plan
where I
to
think there was a little
focus
bit of
them. That's how
overconfidence
good
after
Peterbot
games
and
1
them
and
are.
2, where they
Like,
kind of made
Peterbot
some,
alone is a
I don't want to say
problem.
rookie mistakes,
But his
they
team
were
is
just misplaying
stacked. He
games
has a
3 and
good
4.
team, bro.
And then we
Like,
saw
he's a
why the
problem,
emotions
bro.
impacted them in that way negatively. But they are so smart. They are so locked in. I think that being in this dig house and being the experienced players that they are, they understand that they had to reset and come into day 2 strong.
I want to
I mean-
double back to you, Vivid, really fast. So I saw that clip.
Nah,
right?
boy, yo. No, you gotta
and
chill,
Acorn
Brody.
said something that stood out to me, and he was like, "Look, you know, we're playing win to win, and they're playing dirty." Do you feel like that's the case? So, like, in my opinion, and you know what? And if I'm wrong, feel free to let me know I'm wrong. But the fact that all of these trios are kind of doing these things to try and win competitions, right? Like, they have a strategy. And we saw this same kind of thing happen in EU. If you have a strategy in mind, you should expect a trio to be like, oh, we know they're going to go there. We know they're going to loot here. They usually hit this place. They stop there. We can try and catch them off guard. And that's what happened. Now, of course, in the moment, Acorn's upset. He's frustrated. I get it. That's passion, baby. But do you think that that's right, that Peterbot's playing dirty? Or maybe is Peterbot trying to play to win?
No, I don't think that specific play is dirty at all, right? They went ahead and bought a view. They know how they
It's
play
strategy,
that
though,
specific
bro.
island spawn. They went ahead and played around it.
But that's
and
the
they
thing
picked
that
up
I
some
tell
great
people, bro.
eliminations
If
of it. To me, I
you're a
think that's
great
clean
player,
play for them.
it's
But you wanna
not
talk about
always
clean play,
about
Kelly,
how
why don't we
good
go
you
ahead and
are,
talk
it's
about
about
the
you understanding
eliminations
how the
from
opponent's gonna.
Agers,
It's like
right? Let's go ahead and
chess.
take a look at the
So if
elimination
you know your
leaderboard from
opponent's gonna
game
do X,
or
Y, and
day
Z,
number
you
one.
gotta be ready.
No surprise,
2,
we see
3 steps
Peterbot
ahead, and
at
that's
the
the
top right
thing.
there. But Agers, in second place.
Peterbot's
We're actually
like,
tied. 19
guy's a
eliminations to
dog.
19 eliminations. Now,
He was
Kelly,
a
we know
dog,
Peterbot
bro.
played out 6 games yesterday.
And that's the thing too.
I
He's
just talked
not
about
just
how
a good
games 3
player,
and
but
4,
he's a
they were
smart
not so
player.
good for Acorn.
And that's
Agers
why I
and
love
Boyer. They
about
went down
Peterbot.
early.
He's
So you're telling me
versatile.
right now
He's
that
the
Agers
best
is
player
tied
ever in Fortnite
eliminations
history
with
too.
Peterbot.
You know what I'm saying?
After effectively only playing 4 games. This is why I'm excited, right? If this trio plays 6 games out today, I feel like they could really give a run for this FNCS win.
I will say, I think part of the answer is actually on the screen right now, where we can see Cold, Peterbot's teammate, is with 17 eliminations in 4th place right now. So I think when we look at a trio as a whole, Peterbot's trio with Cold and even Ritual are able to all provide eliminations, whereas Agers was kind of carrying the team a little bit yesterday. But so many incredible teams that we have to talk about, Zeke. There is just so much that we have to go over in so little time before we get into game number 1 of the day.
I know, there's just so many things to discuss. First, though, why don't we go hang out with our casters? You know them, you love them. It's Monster D-Face and Jacob PR.
Thank you so much, Zeke. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about, a lot to look forward to today, Jacob. We've had a wonderful start to the tournament, but now things are really going to turn up.
Yeah, I had one wish. I had one wish going into this FNCS. I did not want a blowout, and so far, I think I've been gifted it. I thought a 4-horse race going into this, and now it's looking like the top 8, everybody have a chance to win, and it goes to show one mistake, Monster, one bad game could cost you it all.
Or one good ambush.
Chat, can y'all
from
hear me
someone
good,
like
chat?
Peterbot, who
Can
clearly
y'all hear
has
me
showed
good?
He's willing to take tournaments into his own hands.
Is it too
to
loud,
win and
or
take home the
how
trophy.
does it sound, chat?
I really just want to see, has anyone on NA taken note?
Can y'all hear me?
Have
Is it
they
too loud?
decided,
Do I
hey,
need
you
to
know
lower
what? Why
it?
not give him some of his own medicine? Because to me, Jacob, that's the real question.
No, it definitely is a 53-point lead. When
Sounds
the start
good,
of the
sounds
day,
fine.
it was Agers, Poyo, and
Sounds
Acorn
good,
that did
good.
have that
Okay,
lead.
cool,
Other
cool, cool,
teams
cool.
kind of making their name known. Kanada's in the mix, Rise, G-Money, and Aviv. But at the end of the day, first place Global Championships up for grab. Let's go back to Zeke, Kelly, and Vivid to see what else they have for us.
Bro, MDF's like reading my mind, right? Like, you know, when are we going to give Peterbot a taste of his own medicine? When are we going to do that, Lobby? Okay, everybody, we land on Peterbot. Okay, all of us, we're, okay, wait. Let's talk about, Kelly mentioned a lot of trios. Mentioned trios that could qualify, trios that could come up big here in day number 2. And of course, this is a new day, right? So just forget about everything that happened yesterday. Let's just look at these numbers and start preparing for right now. Second place, Rapid, Kanada,
What's Clicks at?
Bolt. Oh
So
my
Clicks is
gosh,
number 7.
These guys were going crazy
Aye, aye,
yesterday.
aye. Bolts
Game
is
3
good.
victory
Bolts
out
is
with
a
11
really great
eliminations,
player.
and they're just trying
He's
to play
super good.
consistently.
Remember
They
him
did
in
not have
majors.
a
I mean,
single game
globals
outside of
last year. He
top
was super
8, which is
good.
crazy. Obviously, eliminations maybe just a touch on the low side, but I'm so excited to see what they bring for us here in day 2.
And what they brought for day number 1 was really incredible height control. We saw them actually getting chopped by Acorn's trio.
How
in
we
an
sound,
earlier
chat? How we
game and
sound?
have
Is it
height
good?
Stolen away from them, and the adjustments that they made for that next game to control height was so impressive. In game number 3, we see how high up they build their high ground, and they're using metal and brick mats the entire time. They make these connections throughout all of the zones. They have 3 different connections, so no one is able to chop them. In fact, people are looking up and not even attempting to get eliminations
Is it
on
better
them.
for y'all over
And
there? Is it
although you
better?
might
Is
be
it
asking,
better?
well, what about the refreshes? Well, you can see Bolt's right there
be
using the
good.
bird form to be able to go down, get refreshes, and then quickly
Good,
rejoin
good.
up with Rapid, Bolts, and Kanada.
All right, thank
It
you,
was one
Laura
of
B.
the
What's up,
strongest
Laura? What's
high
up,
ground
Juicy?
controls
What's up,
that we
Tizzle? What's
saw
up, Dane?
all day, and I think we can expect a little more from them today as well.
Yeah, I want to go ahead and correct myself earlier on because I was like, oh yeah, I think we're going to have a 2-horse race throughout the day, right? Peterbot versus Acorn, yada, yada, yada. Vivid, be quiet. I meant a 3-horse race because I also believe that we're going to see by the end of the day that Kanada is also going to be in the mix for that FNCS win.
I mean, what's the third? Is the third team Aviv, G-Money, and Rise, or is that now a 4th horse in the race? Because these guys are not that far behind, right? I mean, 372, and really their only like quote unquote bad game was that first game where they placed 14th with only 1 elim. But every single game after that, a similar situation, right? Only one other game outside of 8th place, and they had the eliminations, right? So it's interesting. We have on one side great placement, a little low on elims. On the other side, high elims, you know, pretty solid placement. I'm excited to see once again what these guys have prepared, because if I'm rapping Kanata and Bolts, I'm thinking, yo, Big Cheese, Aviv,
First game, y'all about to start. Y'all first game starts in less than 3 minutes.
Well, you know what Aviv
First game starts in less than 3 minutes.
has prepared is kind of a simple answer, and that's these mid-game objectives. We saw in game number 4, the game that they took the victory royale, that not only were they able to get Aspire, not only were they able
Prince,
to get a
follow, bro.
shrine,
What's up,
but
man?
also the research lab. By zone 7, they had full capes, exotic pistol, 3 purple rifles, a legendary pump heals, and near full mats. Being able to put yourself into such a positive position in the end game allows you to kind of go on these incredibly aggro, low ground games and get all those eliminations, which are going to shoot you up the leaderboard.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about global qualification spots right now. Only 30 points trailing behind Rise's trio right now. Booga hot on their heels.
And Booga's good too, though.
For those global qualification spots.
I think Booga's won like how
Kelly,
like
we came into
5
this weekend
or
saying that there are 6 qualified teams playing this weekend.
FNCS
Those spots could
before.
roll down
Booga's
all the way
good,
to
bro.
top 8. No, it's 3rd right now, right? Those qualified teams are not playing as good as we
Booga didn't
thought they
retire.
were.
He
So
still
right now,
plays.
Booga's sitting in 5th place, not
Booga's
necessarily
good, bro.
in that qualified spot,
What's up,
but I think
Caleb?
he is close enough to definitely be in
I got
contention.
Peter Bot, bro.
Oof, and to
Peter
end
Bot's the greatest in the
day
world,
with
bro.
A victory
Definitely Peter Bot, bro.
royale is definitely, we were talking about mentals. That is going to put you in the perfect mental state for going into day number 2. And we know who has the best mental state right now is Craze, because he was going absolutely crazy on the low ground yesterday. Threats and Booga had a perfect pickup with this player because they fit so well as a trio, but they just need to make a few more plays, maybe get a few more eliminations to be able to get that global spot.
No, Kelly, though, if we're talking about crazy plays, Muzz, Shadow, Sphinx, right? I mean, come on, man. It's Muzz. They're in 6th place. I mean, look, guys, I feel like at the end of the day, this is gonna be a
good,
very,
bro.
very close race. And again,
I always
because
look
it's so
forward to
close,
like the
if we
last
see
day,
any
because the
of
last
these
day is
trios in the
always
top
super
6
intense, bro.
fall, that's just going
I
to
look
give that
forward
much
to this,
more
man.
room,
This is gonna
right?
be
Someone
fun.
else is going to try.
All right,
and
chat,
step
50
closer,
seconds. Game 1
really
starts,
shrink
y'all.
up that
50 seconds.
leaderboard.
Game
I'm
1
pretty
starts.
concerned for a lot of these
If you
players.
do want to see
I
this
mean,
in
if we all
full
decide,
view,
hey,
make sure you
know
go
what,
to the
Peter Bot's our
purple
target
app.
today. Let's just go ahead and land on
If you
him
want
and
to see
slow
this
him
in
down.
full view, make sure you go
You know,
to the
we can
purple
see
app.
even Peter Bot fall
For
in
the
that
full
number 1
view.
spot. I don't know.
Game 1 starts in 30
Zeke,
seconds,
if you're
y'all. 30
concerned for
seconds.
players, you need to be concerned for Skittles trio because they are getting absolutely walked on in resistance space. Muzz, Sphinx, and Shadow say, you want our POI, you have to take it away from us. And they're just showing how well they do in the early and
think
mid-game
prize one is
fights.
like 250,000, I
Just
think.
from so far away. This is the Muzz we know and love.
Typically, when we look at a contested trio, we're like, oh yeah, they'll make it to the end game about 50% of the time. Muzz was like, nah, what about 100% of the time? Did not falter a single game yesterday. Made it to the end game, 1 on spawn every single game. I want to see more of that from that trio today.
Okay, guys, day 2 teams, day 2 grand finals. What do we expect? Is it Peterbot? Is he gonna walk away the win?
Come on. Is he
Is
walking
someone
away?
else
He's the
gonna look to
GOAT.
take away that spot?
Zeke, you know what I want to see? I want to see the best Fortnite these players have to offer.
I think at the end of the day, we're going to have that 3-horse race that I mentioned. Acorn, Peterbot, Kanata. Who's going to win it? I don't know.
Peter Bot.
All
on
right,
now.
guys, it's time. Get ready for some peak Fortnite here in NAC. Casters, let's find our seats on the bus because game number 1 is about to kick off.
It is time right now, Monster. Game number 7 is about to be underway, and our analysts kind of laid the foundation out perfectly. There's first place spot up for grabs, $180,000, 2 spots for the global championships, and a life-changing amount of money all the way down the leaderboard.
Yeah, definitely. And if EU was a
Aye, aye,
sample
aye.
of how exciting things are going to get today, then I'm ready for it because game number 7 is here.
Let's go, baby. Oh, oh God. Oh, God.
All right,
Oh,
enough's
God.
enough, Jacob. We get to get
This
on this
about to be
battle bus and
nice.
start this finals off with the last hoorah here. You know, to really kick things off, let's put things into the picture here, right? Let's give the bigger picture. Why don't you update the fans at home what they missed yesterday, right? What's on the line here?
You guys missed a movie yesterday. I don't know why you guys didn't get your tickets, but I'm glad you're here today. Peterbot, Cold, Ritual, throwing almost everything at it, from launching themselves to the north side of the map, going to Foxy Floodgate, sneaking up on Agers, Aviv, G-Money, and Rise, uncontested to start the day, contested through the day, still ending up towards the top of the leaderboard. Kanata, Rapid, and Bolts consistently going for high ground. I think I've never seen an FNCS where
Boy,
they're
they
literally
the
throw
GOAT.
everything
The
they
GOAT.
have at their opponents to try to take
Let's
that
go.
top
Let's see what
spot.
they do,
And
man.
they're giving themselves a real chance at the big prize here. And that's what makes this so exciting as we're watching them quite literally find consistency. You know, one of the big things that I wanted to note yesterday was the fact that it's been a while since we've seen even a Kanata or Acorn have such a strong, consistent day one. These are teams that have typically had their overall performances come back in a day two format, so we know they perform better on the second half of these types
What's
of
so
tournaments,
surprising
and
is
that is what's going to be really
Peterbot's
telling here
not
today
dropping
as we start
over
to
towards the
shape
mythic
things
like
up
he
here.
normally
And then
has.
there's
And
just the global
Poyo
spots on the
is
line,
actually
right?
dropping over
Kanata
towards
said
the
best in
mythic.
that
I
interview.
find that
He
so
feels like
intriguing
it's a shoe
because
in. He's
Peterbot
got this.
loves
He's
dropping
not
to
even
the
thinking
mythics.
about not attending
Always.
globals at this point.
So to
And
see
I
him to
kinda-
go all the
I
way
kinda
over
believe him
there
at this point. I'm
to the
really
other side of
feeling
the map
like
and
his
not
confidence
drop
is
for the
there. It's
mythic is
absolutely
crazy, bro.
showing.
Yeah, and their gameplay, ever since that team formed, it's just been out of this world. But let's switch gears for a little bit. A team that honestly has had a bumpy road through and through, from contested drop spots, their group stages. Everybody thought this team was a lock to make it into the grand finals through that. Unfortunately, they did not make it in. They had to play through the LCQ, but they were first when LCQ opens were over.
Let me find
They
out
won the
Poyo and them
first
got my
game
boy
of
Peter
game
Bot
number
scared, bro.
one.
Let me
But
find
since
out,
they
man.
had to
Come
go
on,
through
GOAT.
LCQ, another team through the group stages claimed this drop spot, but not anymore. No Skittles, no Bryce, no Dash over on that side of the map. So Mud, Shadow, and Sphinx, they're going to get a true chance to play these games out.
And they're probably the biggest underdog right now when it comes down to, you know, again, fighting for globals right now, giving folks a run for their money, keeping eyes on that prize here. Aoxypex and Jojo Fishy, after a strong day one.
Yo, so there's two
this
teams.
is
They're just
looking like
camping.
a huge ambush waiting to happen from both sides as well. Look at the pre-edit on Enough's side there.
Well, they don't
He's
even
got
know
the
they're there.
half wall made. Aoxy must have felt like something was up, though. Someone took a step too much there for sure.
I almost feel like
knew.
maybe, just maybe, he saw the eraser at the tip of the pencil around the corner. It's like,
Yeah,
nah,
he
I'm
saw
not getting
something.
erased today. You're not rewriting my story. That's up to me.
Why's my guy
Jojo
by
Fishy
himself?
fights
That's the
Eoxy.
question.
Don't get it twisted, because this was a team at the beginning of yesterday. They were actually putting up a little bit of a fight. Third place, 11 eliminations, but they have to go through fights like this. A contested mountain, a little bit of a 50-50, and it's kind of hard to come out on top. Consistency when you're in that type of a scenario.
Oh, most definitely. Talking about those consistent trios, though, here's a look at, again, coming into the day, our second place, currently standing Kanata, Rapid, and Bolts here at the Crime City. Set up, nice little triangular hold on this overall section here, and just doing what they do best. But it's the end games. It's the end games that are really getting these teams and really showing the difference maker on the standings here. Quick stat giving us the Kanata Rapid Bolts are the only team to place in top 8 every game. So clearly placing points is their formula to success.
Poyo.
Yeah, and kind of looking at the leaderboard, the only reason why they are in second place is the eliminations that Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual are able to put up, 30-47. So there's 17 eliminations worth of points that Peterbot and Co. have over them. Still looting up Demon's Domain, though, uncontested this time around. No surprises thrown at them early. Acorn, Agers, and Poyo. And you heard them talk about it to start the show. Kelly, Vivid, Zeke, 19 eliminations for Agers. Both him and Poyo in the top 10, I believe, 4 eliminations. They're accumulated a good amount of damage. It's just about the mental game that we feel like kind of went wrong after being contested, after being surprised by a few tricks. It's about how you pick yourself up and pull yourself back. We're talking about this team being a day 2 team, and they put themselves in contention with their performance in day 1, even with those 2 bad games.
The 2 times they weren't in the lobby, the other games were first, 4th, and 5th.
So Boogan them's over there.
Absolutely incredible, you know, streaks as far as they make it out of the drop, and seems like that's what's happening here, so long as they don't get ambushed come the mid game. Booga Threats and Craze, though, team that is surely in the conversation right now for globals positioning. Everyone wants to, you know, wants to see Booga make that walk out the tunnel.
Yeah, I think I do too. I'm raising my hand, Monster, because I'm like, me. I want to see it as well. And Craze, you know, I heard Kelly talk about him, kind of the young gun, the new kid on the block for a team like this. He has been in positions before, But
He's
playing with Booga
about to get
threats,
crazy. Watch this,
that's like
y'all. It's about to get
another
crazy.
bit of pressure that gets put on you. I know
These
game
in-games get
5, I was looking
crazy,
at the
dog.
community saying, Craze, man, he had a bad game 5, but what a way to redeem themselves, to win out in the final game of the day, and keeping the Booga threat streak alive. I think it's like the last 4 majors, they've won at least 1 game on day 1, keeping that consistency.
Yeah, this how it
intact.
goes,
The
too. It gets
Skittles
super
price
slow in the
dash. We saw them
beginning,
move
and next
away
middle to end,
from
it's
the
just
resistance
insane.
phase, but Monster, quite
It's about to
frankly,
get
they're
crazy.
not too far off from that current spot.
I want to see what are they waiting for to open up on Monty here, as they're just tracking him, waiting for that perfect opportunity. They might have let it slip away, but even if, so long as these teams
Yeah,
kinda
this is
split up
competitive
here,
Fortnite, man. It's a different ball game.
they'll be able to jump on one.
Way different.
And Monty would be the one, exactly that, because he's the one. You see his 2 teammates.
Yo,
already in
Leah,
the
thanks so
tower.
much for the Galaxy, man.
They're
Big ups
getting
to
their Storm
Leah for the
Surge,
Galaxy.
kinda
Love you,
typical
Leah.
setup you see for a lot of these bases. Monty's down below, though. Monty's job right here is to find heals, farm up any mats they use to make this base, and just make sure when they finally rotate out of this location, they're max mats, full health, all the resources they need. But he's also the one that's in a risky scenario. Curve, Josh, and Tyler talked about them as being one of the teams that kind of contest Rise, G-Money, and Aviv. It seems like they found a new spot to land at today, Shogun Solitude, and it looks like it's working out for them at the start of the game.
So this is the thing that I say about builds. I don't think people understand. Builds
Shout out to
players have
Visuals
the same
running that
kind of
face cam for the
skill,
broadcast. We love to
plus
see
they
it.
know how to build. So that's the thing,
Gotta-
and that's why I
gotta
tell people
celebrate
build
those
players
that
are way better
giving
than
us
ZB
a nice
players.
show here.
They can do everything what ZB players can do,
For the game kickoff,
and
you know,
more.
it's all about
It's just a
finding that
different
surge,
ballgame.
getting
Look at
into
the
these
aim,
early
bro.
game battles here.
Ay, ay,
Gary,
ay.
Angel, and Aimbright doing it once again. Aimbright's team just having
Oh, my goodness.
a break in the early game. They are consistently finding
Louise.
themselves in some type of situation or another, whether
They
it
cook,
be
buddy. I think they're gonna push
on
them
the
too.
north side or now here on the western area of the
They
map.
pushing them. They
Micro
pushing. Yeah, they
adjustments seem to
pushing.
be kind of at play here for
Ooh,
game 2.
good shot on him.
So
Oh
far,
my
so good for
goodness,
them, though.
good
They
shot.
do get this initial elimination here.
Yeah, I like Kaiser's attempt right there. Just get some of the loot off your fallen teammate, knows you can't be the hero, and immediately tries to kind of disengage, create some distance using that miss form. But there's only so far you can go with that team on your back. Just got to wait for the next charge. I think it's roughly around 12 seconds in between usages. There goes his second. He's going to be on that countdown yet again. But since there's no mobility on Gary, Angel, and Aimer, they had no choice but to let him go out. Maybe they'll see him later, but all they know is they have to focus on their own game plan here.
This is clicks
It's a
right
early game
here.
Fight here for Clicks, Higgs, and Yamzo right now. Yamzo leaving his team to it. He's the first to go ahead and back off now. Seems like they're a little too base down though. With the zone ending right on top of them, I'm assuming they're thinking, yeah, well, let's just go ahead and get a move on. We'll find plenty of opportunity to come here.
Yeah, another one of those north zones, like you're saying, and it's kind of seen the switch up of the strategy throughout the day yesterday, depending on if the zone was towards the north or if it pulled
You
towards
see
the
how
south.
things are
They feel a
slow
little
right
bit more
now,
confident to
but-
take some
but
of these
within the
early
next
game
5,
fights
10
because
minutes
as
and
all
these
those
circles
teams
start
towards the south are
closing,
gonna have to rotate north.
in-game is
The
about
teams
to
that
be
are
so
landing near them
crazy,
in
bro.
the zone
So
are not feeling as
crazy.
pressured to try to go for any eliminations early. Other than them, as we tune in, Cold is already down. Don't know exactly what happened in this situation, but they're going to waste no time trying to get this Spire first, eventually trying to go back for that
Smart
reboot
play
on the
up
Cold.
off the Spire.
But they
Yep.
need to make sure to get as much of this XP as possible, much of this loot as possible, because the chances of more and more teams trying to rotate in, especially if they saw that Cold go down, are high.
Yeah, they're already picking up that B rank, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see anything in the feed, so I definitely missed it. But they shouldn't have any problems picking up Cold here and kind of getting their strategy back in motion. Uncontested though, consistently when it comes down to like securing these spires, right? That's a huge opportunity for them to just continue to have that consistent game plan of a perfect loadout, essentially, to do as they please, push the next item, right? And
Yeah,
just
they
make big
smart
plays.
too. So what they're doing
Yeah, you
is
gotta see
they're
it.
getting
Like,
the
you're talking
XP
about
from the
every single
NPCs.
one
Plus
of
they
those
get the gold
NPC
and they get the
eliminations. You see
weapons.
the superhero rank going
Yup.
up little by little.
Smart.
Basically got a full rank and some off of that. And now you're seeing the pile of loot. They can
Yup,
pick and choose. What
smart.
do you want? All right, I'll take this. What do you want? All right, I'll take that. I'll trade you this. Ritual just making sure Peterbot has a comfortable loadout for the most part.
Did
That's
Cole
also
go
how
down? I
they're
think
getting
Cole
their
went down.
mobility throughout most of these games, as long as that Spire does land there. Let's tune into Blake Diego plays Oliver OG. We saw them early on in this game firing shots, trading back and forth with Kanata early on, and this is kind of what their strategy has been throughout the day for Blake, Diego, and Oliver. Kind of stay in the zone, take advantage of some of these teams that are overstaying their welcome this far back. And since they have an abundance of heals, since they have that early game surge, they have a little bit more flexibility versus every other team that's roaming around right here.
I like the setup right here where they are in between so many teams right now. A few that are in front of them, some to the side, others lurking just to the west here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and look at that. Bryce's trio is going to be one of the few that are going to be early to the next safe zone here. It's a good update for us, though, Jacob. Catching G-Money, Rise, and Aviv situation. As we all know, they are surprisingly in a race to the top.
Yeah, I believe they didn't have too many bad games yesterday, just one. And it was the one that kind of started it all. Their run, 14th place, one elimination. Since then, every single game they had was inside of the top 8, including one of the wins that they did break down to start the show. But as we tune in, Muzz is down. Sphinx with one elimination. It looks like Cooper is over there. Not sure if Curly is the one getting rebooted, but it is. It's Reet making sure they get that one off. But it's time.
It's 3 teams. Oh, yeah, it's getting hot now.
They're making sure they collect that elimination. But a third team, the third party from Clix, Ianzo, and Higgs, they get a good amount of damage onto Shadow, knowing they're only a duo. A mistake has been made. Higgs goes down. That's a huge wrench in their plan.
Not gonna lie, love the Superman laser here. That's perfect to go ahead and pull that pressure off of Higgs, who was almost fully eliminated there. But how quickly did that just all unfold here? We have seen this fight almost break out multiple times now, where it's not one team, it's another lurking on the kind of opposing trio, just looking for opportunities.
I think yesterday was kind of very, very telling. We saw good portions throughout the game where there was a wide open space from the bottom of Flooded Frogs almost all the way to Lone Wolf Flare, an equal distance to the east and west. So teams at the north side of the map, Muzz's team, Reed's team, Clix's team, they're not having the same type of luck they had going into this event. So they had to change up their strategy a little bit, and you're seeing it play out with a little bit more aggression in certain areas. Trying to attack where they can, but all three of those teams are near the top of the leaderboard, most of them inside of the top 10, and have a contention for the top spot on the leaderboard. Granted, some might be praying for the Peterbot downfall because he is so far ahead, but sometimes you might have to take matters into your own hands.
Yeah, he's gonna need those eliminations, right? They got a lot of
low ground now, what they do. See,
here in this last game, or last day of competition, I should be saying. But look at this. Rapid trailing behind King's Trio. That's some dangerous work there, especially looking at how well Phaser in particular played as an individual, not only clutching up for his team, but
that Storm Surge, ooh-wee. That Storm Surge, ooh-wee.
What he was able to contribute to his team.
There it goes.
.496 damage. Most of this, honestly, coming off the back of Braids. We were talking about the damage numbers over towards Flock. Foxy is the #1 damage leader after day #1, putting them in a good position. And they don't have the same pressure versus some of these teams because they already have their global championship spot locked in. Close call here. Rise, G-Money, and Aviv, though. One team rotating right above them, another team right towards their east, but they're using this time still trying to accumulate the surge. Even though they're 1,200 damage above the threshold, they know how easily and quick that can change.
Jacob, look at this. 285 below, no cold, so this could be a fight for really the whole entire tournament right here. This could be the difference maker.
Here.
Peterbot Ritual looking to cut off the weakened team, trying to get them.
Good shot.
Oh my goodness. Positioning here, but time to perform. Because if they don't hit the tags here, it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, I know. It's even slowly getting worse in its own right, because that third-party team up above is slowly but surely trying to look over in this direction. A lot of places to hide going into Brutal Boxcars, so they do have a chance to try to sneak up on the Golden, Mason, and Chimp here as well. You see them trying to go back into the space that they got early on, and just almost try to looking like they're disengaged out of this fight. They probably got notice of the zone pulling far away towards
pushing by himself.
And they probably got a feel of what's going on right now, and it does look like Surge has activated every 7 seconds. Now Ritual and Peterbot have officially been put on the clock.
And you know they're hearing that shield break from the Storm Surge, so that's going to be the telltale sign for the bottom trio. And the bottom trio has to know it's Ritual and Peterbot pushing them as they're in, you mentioned it yesterday, but their signature skin. This is usually how they start the tournament off, so you know for certain this is Peterbot and Ritual here, but very rarely are they below the Surge, so there must be just so many questions being asked and thrown about with these trios.
Yeah, and luckily for this moment, it does deactivate. It got below the number of teams for that zone, but you can see instantly pops on yet again, and they're further below that damage threshold than I feel like they have ever been in an FNCS finals, or at least in recent memory. They're really going to have to figure it out, but they do have time. You see, as we tune into Kanata Rapid and Bolts, where the zone is actually going, it's not too far away from Brutal Boxcars. So in that one tick damage zone, it is going to continue to stay that way.
It's about to get real right here, y'all. This one it gets good, chat. This one it gets good right here.
I like the positioning here from Kanata Rapid Bolts. They're just going to base down.
I think Peterbot in third. I think Cole got knocked
right now. No Clicks and Higgs. Things just devolving for this team here. Not looking good by any means, but hey, Yamzo still got a chance to go ahead and recover and remain in the game. It's a nice little rotate here from Laporta. Gonna give him some distance, but there's just so much happening in this northern area.
Like, if anybody can do it as a solo and get his team back up, it is Yamzo. 37 solo clutch points yesterday, keeping them, I believe, over that 200-point mark. But it's just got exponentially harder with the time that passes. He still has to worry about Storm Surge. He has the Surf Cube, but he's literally just surfing up and over. It could be a good opportunity with now two teams distracted for him to try to make that attempt to go for the reboot card back. Booga Craze threats always quick to rotate to the zone, and honestly the only time I feel like they're not quick is when they're rotating to the slow side, trying to give themselves that better advantage.
Oh, look at the update there. Mud Shadow Sphinx officially eliminated our 6th place team, allowing the rest of the top 5 to somewhat maintain the lead at this current time here. Ritual Peterbot make it out this storm. They seem to have gotten an elimination right here. They are right on the team of Mason. They were fighting in the storm. They make it to the next area. Take a look at the highlight here as they come on in. Was that on the chin? Straight into the box. Wrap it up so quick here.
Oh, Storm Surge is, I would say it is, but even with that elimination, there were still 377 below, 453. They essentially 2+ eliminations worth of damage here. They have 2 players right in front, but I'm sure that's not going to be enough overall. They continue to trade shots down onto one. They do get the wipe, that whole team but out. Exactly as I said, they're barely above that damage threshold, 51. So they can feel confident now. They can feel the pressure alleviate, but they know that's going to switch up if they don't continue that upward trend of damage.
And then King team know, Oliver's team know, Reek knows. They know exactly who is in the middle there. The feed lighting up. They can hear the shots. That's going to be very interesting. Oyo, Agers, Acorn make an early rotate here, giving up their positioning to go ahead and play a little bit more center. Possibly targeted. Maybe someone broke their base from below, but clearly something wasn't sitting right with them on the previous spot now. And look at that, off they go, straight early rotate to the new zone, utilizing those dashes almost perfectly. Peterbot Ritual back into the mix. They don't have the luxury, the time really to kind of wait around. They have to fight here and now.
And on the flip side, though, with Cold being down as early as he has, a monster, there's no team in this lobby that's going to get this type of situation ever again with them going down. I don't even know when he kind of disappeared out of it overall, but they're a duo. They gotta take them out. They gotta cut down that 53-point lead. And I don't think anybody has been in a position to start to feel confident. They've been through 2 different teams so far, Chimp, Golden, and Mason. Now this team, full trios in a 2v3 situation, fighting with Surge on their backside, 110, down to 81. They're starting to fall below the damage threshold, and a max pool for this next zone. If they figure out a way out of this, I'm not sure anything's going to be able to stop them in this game.
Yeah, well, clearly they're going to be able to make the
this way it gets good, y'all.
Damage is obviously
this way it gets good.
Concerning, but look at this, Peterbot making the call like,
this way it gets good, chat.
We lose all the time on the clock, right, to fight, but we could go up and trail that other team instead. They are going to stay down low. And look at that. There's a team waiting on the other side of this mountain.
Wow.
183 tag.
for
Ritual's got to either back up
They are
Peterbot here
waiting.
or something, but Peterbot clutching in when it matters most, finding a little bit of damage is still not enough. It's actually Reach Trio who's on the other side here. Damage being dealt. Everyone's kind of feeling it.
Peterbot
here in the
might be
lobby.
cooked, chat. They might be cooked.
Peterbot
Dire
Ritual go up and
situation.
down the town. Look at this.
258.
Shot Peter.
All or nothing. 50-50. Ritual is going to get taken down. Peterbot now is back up against the wall. 269, falling
Peter by
further and
himself
further.
right now.
306. It gets worse, and now his last usage of that misform going to be used. He dives straight towards a whole nother team being exposed down below. His only chance. He gets sprayed on the other side. Active Surge as well. First
course.
elimination. Siphon is literally keeping him alive, while Storm Surge and the damage from the storm itself is eating him.
He's insane. Even though he's holding on here.
Holy
You can
crap.
see he's got that warrior spirit. He does
He made
not
it
give
out?
up at all. Fighting through and through to the very end. It's Curly's Cheerios below him now. Trying to think back, did he miss any loot? But it's too risky to go for it. Now going for the scout here, the download of the information. King's Trio makes a move here. Might be time to rotate, but he needs some type of mobility. It's only going to get tougher and tougher from here. Top 15 placement points as well. These are all very critical.
This is crazy.
Opportunities for
This
Peter
is
Boss to stay in the
crazy.
lead. Cooper, Ree, and Curly though on the move now. But there's still a chance, right, for the rest of the lobby to break away.
Oyo and them getting hyped
This
already.
is their chance right now. You
Boyo
see,
and them
they're
getting hyped.
taking it, but the flank coming in. They're lurking on the backside. Visuals, Braids, and Minish. Acorn, Agers, and Boyo. A battle for the high ground is going
Ooh,
to
they
begin.
fighting, they
Agers with the
fighting.
flank, dashes on the Visuals, gets the knock as Acorn shows up to help save the day. 931 damage above threshold before it does deactivate. Did everything they needed to do because the remaining players of that trio just gave it up. They have no hope because they're outnumbered.
Acorn was just on his old man time, you know, looking down, connecting his base, you know, playing block building up top. And then Adrian's like, bro, what's going on, dude? You got 2 or 3 people on you and saves
This is
the
insane,
day.
bro.
My gosh,
Oh,
that's gonna
Peterbot
be
just went knocked.
quite an
Peterbot got knocked by
opportunity to look
Booga.
back on it,
Oh,
kinda
Peterbot went
reevaluate.
down. That's not good. Peterbot's down.
I did see it in the feed that Peterbot did go down about 15th place.
That's
So we
not
talk about
good.
placement points coming in, that being the tool as a solo for him to try to keep that lead intact, but only getting 15th place.
Boyo and
that's
them
only
got hyped,
2
too.
placements worth
Boyo
of
got hyped.
points. So there
Boyo
is a
always
lot of
gets
time
hyped,
and
bro.
effort right now for
Always.
any one of those teams below him on that leaderboard to start to close the gap, or even better, take the lead after this game. 4 eliminations so far for Aegis, Acorn, and Poyo. They're definitely in the position on the high ground as it continues to move up the mountain. Everybody down below is have to expend every resource and material just to reach the tip of that mountain.
Keep in mind, Rapid Kanata Bolts were in 2nd place, so Peterbot falling super early. This is their chance to now officially close the gap. But what happens when they end up taking first, if they can take first, is they are gonna put a target
Yeah,
on
Boyo
their
and them,
back.
they got
That's where
hype,
things are
bro.
gonna have to get even
Boyo and them might win
more
this one.
difficult for them. Rapid taking a lot of damage here. He's
both
gonna
of
be the
them
first to
get
get
knocked.
knocked here. Kanata dropped down into the box too fast and then caught up as well. And we might have spoken a little too soon. Bolts only in 13th right now. He hasn't really earned much. Talk about not necessarily taking advantage of the opportunity presented here and now.
I think
It's
Clicks is out. I
Agers,
don't see
Acorn, and
Clicks.
Boyo who are doing the most
think Clicks
with
is
this
out.
chance here.
And they're immediately, we saw them below over 100.
Do y'all
down
see how
below the damage
crazy this
threshold, and now they're
is?
putting themselves closer
Bro,
and
this
closer to
is
the driver's seat.
crazy.
Just terrorizing any team trying to make it up that mountain because it not only goes
This
up,
is
but it goes
crazy,
over towards the
bro.
other side. Got to make sure you plan ahead, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. They go ahead and let Cooper lead the charge. They drop down a few labors to make sure they're not that instant target by the high ground. Bolts by himself, though. Kelly talked about the resurgence. The
Boyo
new
just took out
Bolts,
Booga.
almost like the NA West championship winning Bolts back at it, and this is a perfect time to prove himself. At least 4 teams worth of placement points, now 5 as he gets into the top 8.
Took a couple seasons off, but clearly couldn't count him out. He has been back in prime
Man.
form here. I like the little play here to dip back into the storm as the zone bounces back, trusting
This is
that
crazy,
things are going in his
y'all.
favor, and he does have that misform to go ahead and escape out. And this is a clutch coming out of him right now from
This is
13th
crazy.
when his team fell down, now into 7th, and he's still pushing through. Can he find
Pollo
an
and them got
impact
that height, though,
elimination? Looking
man.
at
They
things
got
from
that
the
height.
background, no. High ground is sitting super pretty. Cooper Reed and Curly trying to take advantage here of the opportunity to just rack up eliminations. That's the name of the game right
Look
now.
how crazy
Meanwhile,
this
Cam
is. Oh
is getting
my
active in the low ground.
Zeke, Donnie, there's not too many full trios left in this game. But Zeke's wandering around. He has 180 on the Chug Minis as well. He just needs to find a way to let the dust settle and get those heals off. But there's players above them. There's players down below. One of them being a full trio right here before our very eyes.
my
They're looking for that
goodness.
opportunity to continue to be contested. As they're dominating the low ground, you see them creating more space as Agers and Pollo have dropped down low. Now they're playing Disruptor. They're making sure nobody has a chance to heal off.
Agers caught boats right there and shut them down, sent them back to the lobby. Top 5 now for Reed, Curly, Cooper.
good play,
Back
good
into
play.
the mountain this endgame goes. This is quite a zone ending here if we've ever seen one. Meanwhile, Mistform plays, or Med-Mist plays way deep into the storm. Donnie with the jumping shot there onto Cooper's gonna go and find himself elimination. Cam swinging around the outside. He's just a huge upset kind of being thrown into the mix here. Low ground now, trying to kind of gather his bearings, downloads what he needs
Oh
to,
my
puts
goodness.
down Reed. That's the siphon to keep him in the game, and he's just fighting for second here. And there it is, Curly, the last alive, but Agers is on the
Yeah,
hunt.
Pollo, I
as he
said it.
closes things
I said it,
out
chat.
with
Pollo.
a
Pollo and
14
them.
elimination victory royale.
Told you. Pollo.
11 for Agers by himself.
Yeah.
Monster, that brings his total eliminations in FNCS to 30 as an individual. And let's talk about Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual by himself going down early. That is the biggest thing because that is the opportunity they needed to close the gap. They were almost 100 points down from that first place spot. And guess what? This game, they scored over 100 points to close that gap.
Wow.
That was just
Pollo and them
a
might take
game
this.
and a half for Acorn, Pollo, and Agers. And they managed to do it again 2 days in a row where they start things off with a victory royale.
That dude
This
Agers
is a
nice.
statement
Agers
maker for the
nice.
rest of the lobby. Really for Peterbot's trio. They have a lot of success when this team is not in the lobby. There's just so much influence that they lay down, and it's Agers in particular who you have to give all the
Chat, do
credits
y'all
to.
think
Recently signed
Peter
to the
Bot
elite
should
team,
never
just
let Pollo?
really showing why he is a world-class pickup.
Some people
Look
think
at him
Pollo is
go.
better than Peter
The
Bot. I've
performance
heard
is
that.
there, the
I've heard
victory
people
was
say
there,
that
and
Peter Bot
congratulations, Game 7 goes to
only
Agers, Acorn, and
won
Pollo.
last
Zeke,
year because
what a
of
way to start
Pollo.
this tournament.
And what's crazy is if Pollo and them win globals this year, I'll lose my mind, bro. What y'all think,
Not
chat?
enough to win game 1 yesterday. Now we come back and win game number 1 of day
See, that's what I'm
2
saying, though, J baby.
In such a
So,
just
the fact that
crazy
let me go ahead and
fashion,
pause
right?
them real quick. So here's the crazy part, and I was saying this before like all this transpired. I've never in my life seen Peter Bot not go for the mythic ever. So to see Pollo go get the mythic and everything uncontested is so crazy because I never see Peter Bot do that ever. Like anytime I've ever seen Peter Bot, he always goes for the mythic. Like in every season, every chapter, he always goes for the mythic. And so when I saw him drop on the other side of the map, I was like, wait, so Pollo goes for it and not Peter Bot? Man. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Man. That's tough, bro. But man, that's tough. So I wonder, man. I wonder if I'm Peter Bot, I challenge the mythic. I challenge Pollo. If I'm Peter Bot, I take the chance. I think I take the chance. I do. I think I go ahead and make the play and see who's better, you know? But that's unlike Peter Bot to make that decision, bro. That's not like Peter Bot, bro. It's not. That's crazy, dog. That is crazy. And Pollo is such a great person, man. Like, I think Pollo is such a good team player.
Man. Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
He's
because
super
you're
all
right, that
around.
mental
Pollo's a
reset,
really
it
smart
was
player, too.
enough. Now,
So I'm gonna
how
tell you what
does-
I like about Pollo and what I'm seeing in this right now in the majors. If you remember last year in globals when him and Peter Bot was playing, they got the mythic, they got all the good rotations, and they got height. Like that was the 3 things that you saw them do, right? Everything that I just said they did last year for globals, Pollo, Agers, and them are doing it right now. They're doing that right now. They're going to go get the Mythic. They're getting good rotation. They're getting positioning. They're getting height. Like, that's what Poyo and them are doing. And I hate, and I don't want to say this, but if Peterbot can't find a solution to what Poyo and them are doing, it's gonna be a long journey to globals, bro, for my boy Peterbot. Like, Poyo and them might win globals, bro. And I'm gonna be honest. I think they win globals if Peterbot doesn't find a solution. Yeah. I just don't think he. Yeah. Because Poyo is uncontested over there, bro. He's totally uncontested, and that's the thing that I'm saying to myself. Like, how you have Poyo and them, one of the top 5 teams uncontested for that area. I don't get that off drop. So, yeah, I think Peterbot needs to lock in and take care of it, bro. Like, Peterbot's the best in the world, and he needs to show it. Like, I think that's the thing. I love Peterbot, but this is his moment to show, hey, listen, I'm the best. I'm the greatest. You know what I'm saying? Like, Poyo's great. He's a top 5 player, but I'm the greatest. You know what I'm saying? That's what Peterbot needs to do in this moment and take over. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see, man. Game 2 about to start in less than 1 minute, man. So we'll see in game 2, man. We'll see in game 2, man. Man, that's crazy. Said Poyo chicken? No, not that. Peterbot better than Ninja 10 times, 10,000%. Ninja couldn't compete with nobody in this. Like, Ninja could never. There's not a 0 build player in the world that can compete with these players. Not one person. No one. These guys are on another level. This is next level right here. This is next level. Yeah. Yeah, Tfue, all the great ZB players. Yeah, cooked. Cooked. This is different. Yeah, Peterbot is the greatest player, but the way that this is shaping up, if they go into the next season and Peterbot plays like this, I'm scared, bro. Poyo and them might win globals, bro. I'm gonna be honest. They play like this, man. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's different though, man. I think what 0 build players don't understand is the level of greatness that these players have at this level is it's another level. Like, and nothing against my fellow ZB players, because I play ZB, but the level of competitiveness that they have on this level and the amount of skill, like, they're not just aiming. They have to learn how to edit and certain things. It's just a different ball game. The rules are different. Everything is so different. Like, this is a different ball game. Like, these players are like next level. They're the best in the world for a reason. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. Game 2, y'all. Game 2. Let's get it. Game 2.
We knew that day 2 would provide some entertainment. And coming into this day number 2, Poyo, Acorn, Agers, 100 points behind Peterbot. But after
what's the standings?
I don't know, a little something like a game.
Poyo and them number 1. Oh my! They took over.
Ahead of Peterbot.
No.
Oh, it's happening. Kelly, it's happening.
No.
Yeah, at the start of the show, when I said that history was repeating itself, I was talking about Major 2 to Major 3, not day 1 to day 2.
No,
so that means that
Agers,
Acorn, and Poyo are going to get the next victory royale as well, possibly. But honestly, I got to give the floor to Vivid, because Vivid, you called it at the start of the show. Agers, Acorn, Poyo needed that mental reset, and that's what we got.
Worked out perfectly for them. I mean, Agers dropped 11 eliminations. Beautiful stuff there, but it's going to be on the back.
They were down
right?
by
Them
100
kind of
points.
losing the lead, and Peterbot
Now
there.
they're up by 10.
Storm Surge was rough that game, right? They're kind of used to going, head to head, shotgun, box to box, wall to wall. But no, like, these games were completely different today in the sense that, like, yesterday when we were in first, second zone, it was like, whoa, there's already 75 people alive. This is getting quite. A lot of eliminations are going down. And then today, in game number 1 of the day, there was like 90 players alive at that same exact moment. So a lot more passive play style. But I mean, jumping right into the end game, Kelly. Bolts kind of holding on for the trio with that solo clutch. Incredible stuff from him.
I just want there to be some kind of highlight reel showing the bolts that we had for Major 1 and then the bolts that we have for Major 3, because I would never guess that this is the same player. He is playing absolutely lights out today and all of yesterday as well. When it comes down to solo clutches, there's honestly rarely anyone better than what we've seen bolts be able to do. Not able to get the game that they wanted exactly, but honestly, even if you're in a shambles situation, being able to put yourself up even just a little bit is exactly where they want to be.
Yeah, they're fighting for those few spots, right? And again, all these trios are doing the same thing, right? They're just saying, here's what we got given this game. I'm gonna try and make something out of it. To put up a solo clutch like that, especially in the first game of the day, oh my gosh, I'm telling you, these next 5 games, this trio is going to pop. Cooper Curly also showing up here in this last game. Man, oh man, we do still have ground to cover, right? The job's not done, but now we're in top 10 right now. So
this is gonna
I'm
be
very
good,
excited
y'all.
to see these guys. Again, I'm wanting to see what all these trios are improving upon, right, in day number 2. And for this trio, I'm liking what I'm seeing.
It's better late than never. And if you look at the first 5 games that they had yesterday, it was not looking too good for them.
Yeah,
Although they
Peterbot
still were
probably
able to get
crashing
a
out,
few
bro. I wouldn't be
eliminations.
surprised.
But it was that
You know
final
Peterbot.
game of the day where they got second place with 8 eliminations, where they finally started to turn things around. And I love that we finally get to see them up in our top 10 leaderboard, because being able to convert that minor success in day 1 into another success for day 2 is so pivotal.
Man,
At the end of the day, all I can do
This
is
is
learn
good,
and be better
bro.
tomorrow.
This is
will be a
good, Chad.
different story, quote unquote Cooper on socials.
This
And I can
is
tell you right
good.
now, he definitely learned a lot yesterday and was definitely better already today. We also got Booga, Threats, and Craze still kind of maintaining towards the top of the
Booga's top
leaderboard
5,
right
that's
now.
not bad.
Although, you know, they did close the gap to that qualification spot, right? We kind of entered today. They were 30 points behind. Now they are only 12. I saw them jumping around in the late game as well, but they became victims to the old Agers up on the higher ground. He was providing a little bit too much damage with the rifle up there. Can't blame him.
Yeah, as far as loadouts go,
Yeah, I
this is
think
definitely one of
Peter
the
Bot's
rougher
gonna
ones
adjust.
we see.
He'll
He does have the
adjust.
exotic pistol, but as far as
But if I'm
Craze, who's
Peter, I'm
usually the
challenging
double key
Pollo.
fragger of the trio, he was a little
Pollo's
bit
the
left
only
with a
team
weak
I'm worried
loadout.
about in this,
And
if I'm
unfortunately,
him,
they weren't able to
honestly,
get those
you know.
eliminations that we
So he
know
has
that
to
they are
adjust
able to
with
do.
Pollo
But
and them.
still, we talk about consistency for this trio, and they are still consistently making it to the end game, although this definitely being one of their weaker games that we've seen. But still, 5 games, we have so much more to go, Zeke.
Yeah, look, this is just the feeler game, right? It's just the first game of the day. We're all warmed up. Now it's serious time. Everyone, let's all land on Peterbot. Anyway, let's go back to our casters for game number 8.
Let's land on
of the FNCS.
Peterbot.
Already after 1 game, Monster, this entire tournament continues to heat up. I wanted a close one and we got it. 10-point lead for first and second place. And Booga, Threats, and Craze have even closed that gap for a global championship spot by 12.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at Acorn. 3 victory royales, and then second place Peterbot's trio. No wins at all. The best they've gotten is a second and a lot of thirds. So
This is
just
gonna be
really showing the
really good,
different
man.
caliber, the different play styles, and different journeys they're going through to make their statement here on the
Let's
standings.
go, y'all.
So with
Game 2,
number
baby.
8,
Game
let's see
2.
it all go down.
Yo, J Baby, he better drop on him.
One more time.
If
Let's
I'm
get on the
Peterbot, I
bus
drop.
here and
I make the play,
see
bro.
if whether or not Acorn and team will be faced with resistance. It almost feels like a coin flip every single game. We just don't know what we're going to get. Clearly, we know there is that target
Ooh,
on
I think
their
they're going
back.
team.
They seem to be
They're
the
challenging. I
most
think they're challenging,
consistent
team.
trio on the NA region and
They're
probably
challenging,
even
y'all.
the globe.
They're challenging.
Yeah, my eyes are literally glued to that
No
drop
way.
map right out of the gates. I'm trying to see who's
No,
contested.
I think they're
who's
challenging
going
them,
where.
chat.
What type of spin on that wheel are we going to see where a surprise contest will
I don't
happen?
want to see this, bro. What Peterbot in
Business
the match?
as usual. G Money, Aviv, Rise. They get it one more time to themselves. Potential Spire spawning near them as well, so they're going to get themselves a chance at a good game. They also have the research lab at their access. The Rift to go ahead and rotate around, but this is the 50-50 I have my eyes on from top to bottom. You just go ahead and dive
Yeah,
your way
someone
down.
landed on
but Cyrus
Pollo.
is going to
It was
get the
Xander
first
now.
down on Deoxy, and his 2 teammates have no choice but to just leave and hope for the best.
Yeah,
Someone
this
did
is
land
the
on
first time
Pollo.
they actually fall this early in a way that they kind of didn't even get to put up a fight. But this is the way it goes down at times. They've seemed to have made, yeah, I was going to say a little clean
No
break,
way.
though. Off to the outskirts they go. Look to go ahead and get their loot together, possibly re-engage. Jumping into this here. Man, just no break for Bryce Dash and Skittles. Unfortunately getting slept here. Once again, just tough, right? And this is still their general area. It's not like they don't understand how to play these zones or win these drops. I mean, the resistance base, they're so familiar with this entire landscape here.
Yeah, and if I was Muzz, Shadow, and Sphinx, I would start to get a little worried because as Skittles and his entire trio don't necessarily get the consistency they had from day one, it's more likely than not they might start to make their way closer and closer back to the resistance base. We saw them win contested fights at least once. We saw them split the drop, stay alive, and be able to make it towards their end game. So that's the type of mental struggle some of these players might be going through when it comes to these drop spots, when it comes to starting out some of these games. We're seeing the limits they're stretching right now. Acorn not even landing at Demon's Domain itself. They know they're uncontested, so they're going in searching. They know players landed back here. They saw it off that drop spot, so they're trying to figure out exactly where they're at. Acorn,
He's in the
IGL of the team is going to be the first to spot him out.
That's no good.
Ooh, that's a nice tag right there. 41, no shield on the opponent's down low. But you blink, you might get put down. Boyo quickly rotates into the rescue here to back him up.
He in the water, bud. That's a
Comes
bad
the shots
play.
from up top. Nice little knock. That's going to be a great
Good shot,
elimination
though.
here. And I just look at these as just, you know, buffer, right? A little extra room, little padding on the scoreboard, given that they just have such a narrow lead over everyone else right now.
Aim, it's insane, bro.
That was good for Poyo to kind of just close the distance quickly there just to make sure that he didn't run away because his teammate was there. They might not necessarily know it, but we see he did have some backup on the way. Canyons crossing though. This
Chat,
is
who y'all
one of
got
those
winning,
fight
chat?
spots
Who
when
we
I
got
look
winning?
at it, you almost have to finish it quick. That team that we saw start the game on top of the mountain, Shogun Solitude, and everybody that lands around Crime City, Outlaws Oasis, and the split drops towards the outside tend to rotate in this direction. And because Pioneer's Crossing has a little bit of a divot with mountain ranges on both sides, it's easy for players to lurk on over, figure out what's going on, assess the situation, and decide if they want to play for it or not.
Yeah, definitely. You see teams get farmed for tags all about this area when they're rotating.
Okay, so
Peterbot
they over there.
already making
by
a move
layer.
up. This is very reminiscent of the last majors. That early rotate up towards the lone wolf. They know
No,
how
not
to
him
play
got
this out. They know
the
there's
Polo
good
Progio.
opportunity to find a somewhat of an ambush set up here.
Him got the Polo Progio on. It's crazy.
Looking scary. They've done this before. Remember last major? It was a whole different team landing over at the Lone Wolf Lair, but they have made almost this exact lurk play from the other side of Lone Wolf Lair. It's King, it's Phaser, it's PH Sin, the ones that really have to watch out here. And they know this terrain just as good as any, and you can see the position on the minimap of that trio they're inching towards. They're spread out. They're not close together. One of them can easily try to go down, so I want to see King with that high ground really utilize it, try to spot out the team, but they're inside of the layer.
Dude,
So
they
now
are
I feel
creeping.
like there's
Look at
no
this.
hope until it's too late.
Don't be suspicious.
And I
Don't
doubt they're going
be
to make
suspicious.
any type of noise indication here while King is full farming here. Look at this, jumps down.
No,
This might
Peterbot.
be even worse for him. Sure, he's getting with his teammate, but a 3v2 is all Peterbot needs for the setup here. There's another team behind them as well, so I mean, this could go either way.
No
Trying
way
to
they
see
all
where the
creeping.
zone actually is, because it kind of pulls towards the north. We're keeping the west side in the zone. The island
And
could
they
go
beating
there,
the
which
crap
is what
out that
they go
kid. Oh my
after.
goodness.
They wait for Phaser to use the launch pad and
Golly.
immediately
They
being
can't even have
taken
a
down.
chance.
And you see in the
Oh my
minimap,
God.
they're just trying to disengage. His two teammates aren't even necessarily together. That's exactly what they were looking for. The island on this side of the zone.
Clicks in them.
They
Look
got
at-
distracted,
now look at
but
clicks
the
in
lurk-
them.
The lurkers are now becoming the lurked.
No,
Clicks out doing
Chad,
hits are
look
making
at
the
this.
same exact play.
This is just comedy unfolding, working in tandem at this point. They don't realize their team's already kind of gone, but their mind's definitely moving in the right direction. How can you put yourself in a position to obviously
that's
catch
crazy.
these teams
No.
off guard? And if they somehow end up crash coursing even on Cliff's trio here just in a couple moments, that'll be devastating in its own. But nope, they catch PH in off guard, and just a matter of time. It's not looking good.
They got him.
You see how good the lasers are too, Jacob, especially in the early game like this when you have the opportunity to really put it to use.
They know. They know, though. They know exactly. They probably saw that first elimination in the feed. Peterbot picked that up. They lurked over to Lone Wolf to try to get him. They ran into King Phaser PH teams yet again. And as soon as they heard that riff, they knew they already have high ground. They're already towards the island. It would be a bad play to go over there and try to contest that. So they're going to continue on with the rest of the game. Hopefully the zone pulls in their favor, and that could be a second moment for them to try to strike.
It almost looks like they want to stay at the Lone Wolf. We'll end up seeing how that works out for them. A little update here with Uga, Craze and Threats. 32 points already earned on the day, so pretty strong start. But it's all about staying consistent for them. They want that global championship spot that we know is prestigious and up for grabs right now. One thing's for sure, though, Kanata wants it too. They are definitely leagues ahead right now on the scoreboard here. About a game's worth in the distance. And then you have G-Money's team. They're trailing right behind. So who all is going to take those last couple spots here is definitely one of the bigger questions.
Oh my goodness. Peterbot got cooked.
I'm not sure they know, but that was some great shots. Across the map from Clixiamzo and Higgs. They're getting Lone Wolf Player is in the zone. So contrary from how we saw Clixiamzo and Higgs play towards in that last game and a couple of the games yesterday, getting aggressive, trying to play for a Storm Surge, they're kind of switching it up. They realized, hey, we went down a little earlier than we hoped in that last game. It wasn't a part of our game plan. We didn't expect it. So now they're trying to slow things down, put a pause on everything, recollect themselves, and play exactly like we're watching Cold Ritual and Peterbot play here for Surge. Let it other teams make those mistakes that you can then capitalize on.
Yeah,
This is
Cole's throwing out
interesting.
markers right now, trying to see if he can fish for any trios.
You kind of see them kind of take a different
Break it.
approach to their rotation is interesting. They got height now, off rip.
Yeah, no real reason for some of these teams to move too much. They do get the zone priority pool. It is favoring, I think, them mostly for the center map. Haven't seen it overall. And the same thing with Blake's team on the other side, but it looks like they might be getting lurked on by Madden and his trio. So hopefully they don't lose too much focus and tunnel on Kanata's team around the map when they got something to worry about. It does look like Oliver got separated. And it seems like a whole fight is breaking down. And this is where Kanata and them are going to take full advantage to try to get as much surge out of this as possible.
Madden V gets the knock onto Oliver OG, but that was super close for Kanata to snipe that one up.
I like that coming out of Bolts. 18 points, solo points in that last game, making them the #1 player in terms of solo clutch points for the game. And you got to think Rapid and Kanata got to start be feeling a little bit more confident with each and every game that passes, saying, hey, we might have to do less. Bolts is doing the most, especially when it comes to those solo opportunities. But we saw Oliver G go down in the feed across the map early on. 3v2 here. Blake trying to fight back. You see he's burning through his materials, changing layers, trying to stay alive, inadvertently separating a little bit too much from Diego plays. He's trying to find his way back.
Diego looking to back him up, though, trying to find an angle. It's still a 3v2, though. This is not easy by any means, but Blake flexing his capabilities right now, but still, it's not going to be enough as Liam just a little too aggressive for his liking here. Gets the better of him. And then you know that Kanata Trio's just watching this.
Yeah, this is no good.
Chipping away shots here at the builds and whatnot.
I feel bad for Diego plays. He's in such a rough spot here. There's so much ammo in those Spire rifle clips. You can literally spray for days. You chain him with your teammate. There's no chance for Diego to kill. Now they're playing for piece control on the walls. Liam bites off just a little bit more than he could chew. He gets
Poyo went down.
65
Poyo
HP.
went down,
Diego trying to take advantage, get aggressive. But the numbers game, it's just too much sometimes. 3v1. They're eventually
it's just
able
too
to
early
take
for
him
that,
down.
man. He
Not only
went
claim
through
all
his
the loot,
mats.
but claim that position on top of the mountain.
It's just too early for that, man.
Shotgun in hand, they were ready. And this zone, too, is starting to favor slightly to the north, so this is going to be even more favorable for them as far as like holding this mountain is concerned.
Poyo went
especially
down.
with those elims right there, pushing them up and over.
This is intriguing.
Into like a comfortable area for overall damage. That's going to be big. Muzz, Sphinx, Shadow. Looking for their exchanges right now. Still sticking true to the resistance base, though. Kind of questionable, I would say, though, for them to be here this long. I have to assume that their damage is probably not the best, so they'll likely need to get into a fight here soon.
Yeah, especially more so. They already pushed that one team off. Kind of imagining the feed, watching them kind of play it all out. It's King, Phaser, PHM, all three of them back up. Not necessarily the best shape, but at least they've given themselves a chance. And they know there's footsteps here. That's Soneto, Cam, and Osid on the other side. A team that could be a little scary to fight. We saw them qualify through the group stages, consistency through and through until they got that win. So they know they can play both sides of that coin. They know how to turn on when they need to. And rightfully so, it looks like they're pushing out King, Phaser, and PH Sin's team, even probably forcing them to take that railing all the way to Brutal.
They rotating, yeah, they getting out
Well,
of there.
if it's practice you want,
Smart
it's
play,
practice
actually.
you get for King, Phaser, and PH Sin. This
Smart
is what
play,
they
actually,
signed
get
up
out of
for.
there. They can go get that
They
boss
jump
real
into
quick.
this
Inspire.
NA
It's a good
region.
play.
They're in 13th right now. The team clashing with them in 14, so somewhat meeting their match here and now. Like the move to the Brutal. Pick up this vending. And get them right back in the game right now.
And this is one of the few teams that might actually know this, Monster, is Peterbot's team took them down, rushed for the island, didn't worry about his Brutal Boxcar Spire. So now, fresh off the reboot, they know Peterbot is nowhere in sight towards Brutal Boxcars, giving them a chance. This, my friend, is one of the best chances you're going to get off spawn, getting access to one of those spires. They're instantly starting to upgrade that superhero rank. They're going to get a whole lot of loot, mobility, in which they didn't have. So I'm interested to see how far they're able to take this game with a huge second chance. Rise, G-Money, and V making that far rotation outside of Outpost, across Foxy, trying to get into the zone. They're beating a few teams back there, and since they were kind of shooting back and forth with some of those teams, they could realistically position themselves on one of these mountain ranges to continue to look back like they're doing now.
So there's two teams right there. They got
Definitely gotta
positioning.
play
This is
for key
good.
positioning here. You don't want to get caught between these valleys like Braids and Diminish, almost forced to go deeper into the storm. Little fight, including here, it seems like. Tyler, Curve, and Josh trying to jump in, but whoa, what happened there?
My goodness.
Must have been a crack in the build. Someone squeezed some shots, and it's Aaron's trio.
Keep pushing.
Oh, yeah, it's a full team as they were going to finish up blue, but just, I guess, got a little too tunnel vision there. That's going to be Raz for them.
It's only one way into those labs underneath and multiple ways out. Sometimes it's not even worth the risk, and you see why. Teams waiting on the outside. There's sometimes some grids that you can't even necessarily build on there as well. It's a good spot to plan ahead and really try to get that sneak attack, which they did find success onto one. And you're seeing exactly why they're going for plays just like that, Monster. Only 68 damage above the threshold. Even though it's early on, we know that's going to change in the blink of an eye.
Back and forth right now. Seems like the Jig duo made it out of the lab itself. They have a chance to kind of fight this one off here. A couple bandages, though, to give them a little bit of room. Fred's team doing the same here, so be all or nothing here shortly.
Luckily for them, they got a lot of heals at least. See, even though you kind of diminish your chances at going to heal off, which you haven't really seen too many of throughout this weekend, you're just kind of cutting down a possible scenario if it ever does come down to it. We saw them go for this island early on, and what a right decision it was, because they're able to get at least one medallion in the hands of Peterbot, the one that's really going to take an individual skill level and kind of increase it tenfold. You see the invisibility, it negates fall damage, you move quicker, jump higher, faster, and something like his hands. We've seen some clutch plays before, kind of looking for him to really make those clutch plays here again. And from on top of the island, with every team having to rotate in through the east, through the south, they're going to get a bird's eye view of every single player rotating in their direction.
A little replay from King. The fight goes down, and Cam's trio meets them here at the Brutal Boxcars, and it just full-on collide with one another there. That's going to be huge for them. I think that should surely push them up into A, possibly even S rank if they caught that Spire. Just think about the benefits of that. That HP increase, of course, is going to be super beneficial. Even that the zone might actually become a 2-tick. Hold up. They need to start moving ASAP.
What do we have here? 220 above the damage threshold. A little proactivity in this game. We saw them lurking around, not necessarily staying towards the north side. Supernova Academy taking those early game fights like we saw in a couple of games throughout the tournament so far. Trying to change things up yet again. In some ways, trying to hit that reset button, and so far working out. We're able to take that slow roll and approach to get that knock on the Seek, but you see them trying to fight their way through. Joji's playing defensive, trying to save the body. Donnie is as well, and he lands a good shot onto Clicks to try to slow things down, and more teams are now rotating into the zone in this direction to make it tougher and tougher for anybody to try to clean up the eliminations.
Yeah, that's the problem. I'm not sure if Clicks' team recognized that there is 2 teams shooting in from the outskirts here. They were moving as if it was just a clean 3v3, but there's so much more happening here than just that. And oh, wow. That pressure from the laser, of course, forcing them off here. And now that could have gotten really bad for Clicks, but hey, things settle for a second here. They got to go. Zone's doing 2 ticks of damage, so it's definitely not the spot that you want to be in right now.
And depending on what the heals are, you don't want to dig into that Chug Jug too early. Max pull coming out. You want to try to save as much of those heals, the HP as possible. But it does look like it has to come out. It looks like it's only heal they do have in their inventory, maybe saving possible med miss for later to take position in zone. A huge strategy that we've seen really play out since the return of those med miss smokes. On the other side of the map, going through a very similar and tough rotation. Agers, Acorn, and Poyo. They completed the hat trick in terms of victory royales during this FNCS, but it's about proving the point. It's about winning another championship.
That immediate competition right there of Aviv, G-Money, and Rise rotating past Poyo, Agers, and Acorn. I want to see if they go for another high ground hold early. Oh, big damage coming in from Poyo there. Saw the quick medallion swap though to get that HP to fly right back up. And that's the strength of the medallion. G-Money should know better to leave open walls like that, but they take a little damage there before rotating out. Oh, they didn't like that. They're turning right onto Poyo. Agers opening things up, giving them some space to work with. Finds a little side angle onto Rise, and then behind a V.
Poyo went down. Poyo went down. Ooh, they might go down.
Full effect here, but he knows he can't stay inside the storm. It's just doing too much damage. He's trying to utilize the dashes to get around, support his teammates, but they're both down now. And this is just going south very fast here.
For both teams, for that matter, because Agers was able to not only get the elimination cleanup on the Rise, he gets another one onto Aviv as well. 1v1. No matter who comes out alive in this situation, both of them kind of second-guessing probably this decision. G-Money's going to go ahead and try to disengage on out, or at least try to make the attempt, but he was so low on HP. Yep, he gets cleaned up. It turned into a 5-tick. So for Agers, he does have all these heals, but he is on the clock to try to get out to see what he has left.
Yeah, it's crazy because he hit S rank right as that happened, and then G-Money falls to the storm naturally, so it was perfect. He gets the Siphon to kind of stay in the game here, and this is why he's waiting this one out a bit. But you know the lobby had to have heard something happening inside the storm, and they'll be waiting for them. But that's going to be a potential lead given back to the rest of the lobby to play for. Cooper Curly Reet. Much to be desired here in this game, but they have the zone right now. They have a little bit of damage, but not too much. They can sit idle here.
Literally what we were talking about, one mistake in games like this and stack lobbies that are this close could cost you anything. It was only 10 points of differential between first and second going into this game. Even third was less than 50 points overall, more than enough to change the tides because it's outside of the placement points so far. Last we saw was about 19 teams still left alive. Still 19 teams in the game, but one does go down. Craze was the one that did get cleaned up. It's only guessings. That might be Booga, Craze, and Threats out of the lobby.
Full Peterbot Ritual, the first to play for a little bit of that elevated high ground here. I like this positioning. I think they are recognizing too they need a win. And whoa, little delivery from Donnie there. Insta elimination too. Notice Code wants his team though before he goes to even dares to look at that loot there. There was a bit too much going on beneath them.
Yeah, no knock. Straight elim. Booga, Craze, and Threats officially out. around 19th place, so no placement points for them so far. Clixiamzo and Higgs are feeling the pressure from across. A bunch of players spraying their way in. They're trying to get off that bottom layer, but Clix does a good
this
shot.
is crazy,
Not
chat.
only getting the shields down, but leaving them with a
This is
sliver
insane,
of HP,
bro.
but it's
Oh my
more than one.
goodness.
It's more than
Clix is
two.
getting
It's almost
cooked.
3 to 4, 5 even teams shooting in this direction.
Oh my
Yamzo's going to go
goodness.
down. You see the material count
this is like
relatively
the whole
low.
lobby
No
shooting at
hard
this
match.
guy.
They're building a
This is the
That's
whole
a huge
lobby.
sign of weakness. The spray
Oh
is
my
relentless, and I don't think
God.
it's going to stop.
It's Peterbox trio from up
Yeah,
top.
they are
They're kind of
aiming at
initiating this. They're almost signaling to the lobby, get in here, add that damage,
He had like
and they just
every
get
team
focused
just
right
aiming
back
at him.
to the start of the game. PH Zin also had a little bit of an influence on that one. And that's just tough, right? Oh my gosh. Yep.
Unbelievable.
This entire pocket right here, bad news.
Wow.
Bad business.
Wow.
I
Building
feel so
game,
bad because
bro.
I've been in that situation. I'm not even a 10th of the way as skilled as these players, but I've been in that situation before, and it sometimes feels like there's no hope of making it out, and already 2 different teams got claimed because of that entire situation. So a 10-point lead is almost guaranteed to be diminished yet again. Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual. But let's go ahead and say Kanata, Bolts, and Rapid as well have a chance to move up the leaderboard as well. From 3rd to possibly getting 2nd or 1st.
Oh, most definitely. They were one of those teams in the focus fire. Peterbot,
Peterbot,
getting
right.
a little sample of what that feels like. And he knows what to do. Change layers instantly there. Gotta give it up. And it's Kanata who goes up top as well. But that same team just focuses onto them. And then Bolt has to come in, pick him up in misform, but Rapid puts a little wall down there, so kind of slows things down for a second, but the pressure's still coming through.
They both going crazy.
King's Trio's the one on the other layer right in front of them. They actually leave Kanata behind, so clearly Rapid couldn't even pick up the body.
Wait a minute.
This is
Might get him.
crazy,
They
bro.
might get him. It's a miss. Med miss there. Kept him in the game. I don't even know who dropped that. It could have been Rapid. Could have left him there with the med miss. Who knows? Just have to find out later.
And they have a couple of more in their inventory. And you see Bolts, the selfless play coming out of Bolts. Yo, my man, you could take this cape. You got it. I got some dashes. I could smoothly move around, maybe just a little bit better with my health, shields, and everything that I have. But the high ground
That's
goes
huge.
on over to Josh, Tyler,
He
and
got hype.
Herb. They've
This
been
is
through the
interesting.
ringer so far during this FNCS, but it's a day 2 opportunity to start to build that confidence and have an avalanche of momentum start to go in your stride.
You know what? You got to give them all the credit. The way they managed to really bully high ground right there. It was their doing of focusing in on anyone who wanted to contest them and see eye to eye. And just like that, it manages to give them a little bit of a lead here in the lobby here. And they're determining the pace of this endgame. That is not something you see a newer trio like this do. A team that hasn't had as much experience in endgame, but they are playing like professionals right now. I mean, look at that. You got Peter's team in shambles. You got Kanata's trio clearly in shambles. And look at this. The pressure coming from the top down is exactly how you're supposed to do this.
But somebody looked
Good play,
up.
Peter. Good
Somebody
play.
looked up and chopped it down. One of them is going to fall overall. Cole's going to go down as well, so it's not going to be for free. Cole's trying to break his way into those cover the zone. Is doing so much damage. He has to try to find a way out. He doesn't have the misform. He cannot cake to the other side, but Cole goes down. That's the siphon he was looking for. And 90 left on the chug and the cape as well. Bolts is making magic happen right before our very eyes.
Still clutching up. Meanwhile, Curve also finds an Elim on the backside of zone onto Peterbot, and then another one too. Mud, Sphinx, and Shadow, though, back in the mix here. Shut down the momentum. Josh was building up with Curve's trio there, and now leaving Curve by himself. And that was a 12 elimination, 5th place for him, but Bolts is the one who's gonna go ahead and put the stamp on it, and he is still going in this endgame.
And Bolts, I saw Rapid for a little bit. Kanata's even still alive. Out of the shadows, he emerges, but a whole trio still down below. Cooley and Curly, they're on the other side, but they have to go left. They're just dictating as much of the flow, and even Curly does it again, cutting off their path. Bolts got dropped down to 3 HP, forced to use that misform to try to go to the other side, lands in the zone. He has 40 on the chug. He can't get to full health, but at least he has an opportunity to fight back. He loses his teammate along the way. He's the only solo left in the lobby, but it's not for long. He's gonna get taken down. 3v2 opportunity for Muzz,
Peterbot gone.
Shadow, and Sphinx to close this one out.
This is big here. Muzz jumping around. He's got that visual, trying to just stay low key here, but cutting them off. Shadow comes down as well. Shadow's just one pump away from getting sent back, though. He's got to be careful. Misform, though. Perfectly done. Down goes Reek. 2v1 situation. Cooper, you're good. But Muzz is here to clean things up. And just like that, they sweep the dust under the rug. Well played for them as they start to put themselves closer to the top.
312 points going into this game in 7th place, and their best game so far through the weekend was a 4th with 13 eliminations. They've been all over the leaderboard. They finally have found their stride and a way to push everything that they face to the side and really hone in here on day 2. They're fighting for that global championship spot with a few other teams, and so far Muzz has been lights out. And this is what you were talking about with him taking down Josh. Sphinx was staying above. He had the med miss, the justice case in his back pocket.
This is the best we've seen Muzz in recent times. And with Sphinx and Shadow, I just feel like he's finding his new stride here. Now, again, having to come through the LCQ, this is just more proof as to why they are so deserving to be here. Sphinx and Shadow turning up just alongside him. A great victory royale for this team here. And game number 8, Zeke, is now wraps.
That was a crazy game.
Muzz! Muzz! Let's go! My king! He got himself a victory royale! Let's go! Kelly, you didn't believe in Muzz. I did. You know what, Muzz? She specifically said, I don't believe in Muzz. There's no way. And I said, no, everyone believes in Muzz. Kelly, that she didn't actually say that. I'm just making that up.
Is that a voice recording of me? Oh my gosh.
Yes, it was. I recorded the message. Muzz, Sphinx, and Shadow get themselves a victory royale. I love in this game, for a moment, things look a little grim, right? We're on the low. We don't have much going on. And suddenly in the 11th zone, they're like, hey, what if we just go for height? Like, what if we, no one up there, right? Like, what if we just take that? And then this kind of leads them to win the game.
Yeah, Muzz, Shadow, Sphinx did an absolutely incredible job there. Watching the low ground, they were sticking to the front of zone and even using some early med mists into Storm to make sure that they're controlling the front of zone, which allowed them to kind of get better awareness onto where high ground was. And like you said, there was no high ground, so going for the eliminations, able to take kind of this like middling high ground, but in reality, they just were going on the aggro. They didn't allow anyone to really like stay calm, compose themselves, and instead able to get those eliminations and that victory royale.
Yeah, I mean, able to find the needed momentum for the victory royale right there, right? That typical position we've been seeing on the low ground where you kind of position yourself right off to the side of the moving zone so you can see everybody kind of rotating in on the ground. That's just lagging a little bit behind. They pick up an elimination there, have the resources to go ahead and justify going up for the high ground. And like Zeke mentioned, there was nobody on height, so they didn't have to take it from height. They just kind of just walked up. We'll talk about all that mess later. But yeah, a good win for this trio, especially in terms of making sure that they stay in contention for that global qualification spot.
Oh man, of course, this is what's going to happen. Every game, the settings are going to change in ways that are not predictable. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to a break. When we return, though, we start to kind of break some of this down. But for Muzz, Shadow, and Sphinx, this is really good. We'll see you soon.
Man. Chat, what y'all think so far? First 2 games. What y'all think in chat? What y'all thoughts, man? First 2 games. Those are some 2 good games. Really good games. So while I'm eating, I mean some shark chicken. If I'm gonna be up past my bedtime, I'm gonna eat good. You feel me? Yeah, this is pretty good, man. Yeah, Bills is a monster, bro. Hey, these are the best of the best, man. Yeah, it's different, man. The speed, I mean, it's just different, man. So what I'm waiting on is Peterbot to have his like key moment where he just takes over. And we haven't had a Peterbot moment yet. So I'm waiting on that moment. No, I don't go to sleep at all, man. No, I just take long blinks. See, that's how I sleep. Man. Yeah, this next level, man. They're good too, man. They're good. Hey, Calixte is underperforming though. He is. That's true. He is. I kind of feel bad for him. I thought he was gonna do better than this going into day 2. Now Malachi beat me in that 1v1. I'm gonna be honest. I want Calixte to win the FNCS one time, bro. I really want him to win. Is it likely? No. But if he does, that would be pretty cool. See him win one FNCS show. You know what's crazy? I got both of them winning this next game. Both of them have been playing really good. I think both of them are going to win for sure.
Welcome back, everyone, to the FNCS. In case you missed it, our GOAT, Muzz, Shadow, Sphinx got themselves a victory royale in game number 8.
Oh.
Now, it kind of hinted at the standings. That game has some implications, and we'll go to them in just a moment because Peterbot, Cold Ritual, they're still holding down the #1 spot. But let's just break this down, guys. If Peterbot, Cold Ritual have a spot, if Agers, Acorn, and Pollo have a spot, then that must mean the next 2 spots are in the, top 4. Wait a minute, Muzz is in the top 4.
Oof, Muzz, Shadow, Sphinx, so close to getting that global championship spot. Of course, they are still just right behind Rabbit, Kanata, and Bolt.
Spots,
and also VG Money and Rise are hot on their tail as well. So it is not done and dusted yet, but you love to see the improvement. You love to see the climb, and that is exactly what Muzz's trio has been doing. But we got to talk about the team that's been sticking pretty in 3rd place, Kanata, Bolts, and Rapid. Definitely not the best game or the worst game out of them, all things considered. But Bolts, man, time and time again, he's just able to pull out these incredible end games.
Yeah, I felt like this actually should have been a win from this trio. I mean, the high ground was pretty crazy. It should have maybe also potentially been a win from Peterbot's trio as well. It's kind of like the same thing happened to Peterbot's trio and Kanata's trio.
They've been playing really
They both
good.
tried to establish height on the front side of moving zone, and it was just like the whole lobby was just like, what if you just don't? And just kept spraying at them, right? Like we saw Peterbot getting knocked down. He was like 15 HP, had to drop all the way down, ended up wasting a bunch of resources on that potential play. And then Kanata, we saw one of them get knocked, and for a second we didn't think they were going to get the revive off, and we were like, why are you guys not reviving? But it ended up working out there, right? But yeah, just lost all height identity that game as a result of it, but still able to recover in both of those trios.
I'm telling you, man, I feel like this season we have just seen so many solo moments that have been so pivotal for a trio, right? That have kept them in the game or earned those little bit of points to just make sure they don't stumble. Bolts, shout outs to you. Of course, we have to continue the conversation though. We wanted to highlight Peterbot here as well. Obviously, these guys are performing very, very well. I think it is funny though that you called that out, Vivid. We saw him dash all the way across the entirety of the zone. And then, yeah, for whatever reason, the entire lobby was like, wait a minute, that's Peterbot. And then everyone just started shooting at him. Then Kanata's like, okay, let me take height from him. They get shot out. He goes down. It was a wild one for the trio.
For what should have been.
Just crazy stuff, you know what I mean? Like it should have, like Kelly was saying, it should have been, pretty easy high ground. They had it established, and then yeah, it was just like the dashes came out. It just couldn't establish it fast enough.
Yeah, for what should have been their game to win, especially after getting Rift Island pretty handily and having high ground for a few zones as well. It's Peterbot just made some interesting plays. He dropped down, and it looked like that was when Kanata's trio was going for high ground, but what should have been an easy disengage just looked so rough, especially for Peterbot. It just seemed like you said everyone turned and focused on them, and when you see them in first place with 519 points, you can understand why. And then Agers, Acord, and Pollo just 12 points behind them. I thought the storyline between these two was done, but we still have the Pollo versus Peterbot. Who's gonna be better? Zeke, we need to find out.
I know. Really quick, before we go to game, I just wanted to highlight that sneaky moment from Peterbot and from Clicks. We're just sneaking in over here, trying to attack King PH Zin and Phaser. And it's funny because we got this angle and it's like, oh, Peterbot's sneaking up. Oh, shoot. And then like moments later, Clicks is also here at Lone Wolf. What is going on today?
I think that as far as in regards to getting storm tags and to be able to go on the aggression outside of the storm bases, this is one of the best moves to make. And Clix, Yamzo, and Higgs, I don't know if they were planning on going onto Phaser's trio after Peterbot. It seems like, great minds think alike. And unfortunately, I think it was just a little bit of too many resources for not that much of a payoff. One elimination, and then they use all these mats and all this time as well. You got to think about it. Time is a resource. It definitely was a fun play to watch, but I don't know if it was the correct play to make.
That's okay. It's fine. It's all good. We don't have to worry about it because we have more games to entertain us here in NA. So casters, take us back in.
Who would have thought games would fly by this quick? We waited so long for this FNCS Grand Finals, Monster, and already we're almost 75% of the way through.
Yeah, it's going by really quickly here. 3 games in, basically, as we're queuing up for this next one here shortly. And just like that, we'll start to look to crown a winner. But the competition is now officially gotten closer.
Let's go, y'all, next game.
Let's see who's going to really take it away this time. Game 9, Jacob.
Thank you, Heart, for no ads. Anytime, Elon.
Trailing behind ever so
like I said, man, we got a strong enough community, man, where I feel like I could turn them off, man. So, hey, man, thank you all, man, for doing what y'all do.
Might be that wild card, that factor no one saw crashing through the storylines here today, and they're just trailing behind.
Yeah, and you see at the top of the leaderboard, I kind of saw it. I was like, okay, it's only 12-point difference, but where's the breakdown coming from? It's literally 3 eliminations. Agers, Acorn, Pollo, Ritual, Cold, Peterbot. They have 57 to 54 eliminations, tied at 291 placement points overall. And Rapid, Kanata, and both, they have more placement. It's the eliminations that they're lacking just a little bit. And then in 4th place on that leaderboard, they're actually keeping up in eliminations. It's Muzz, it's Shadow, and Sphinx. It's just the consistency of the game that they're not able to make it through as often as some of the other teams at the top of the leaderboard. But with 4 games left, Monster, or I should say 3 after this one, that's more than enough time. You can see it almost anywhere. If it's the NBA Finals or the Super Bowl, that 2 minutes that is left on the clock feels like an eternity.
For Muzz, Shadow, and Sphinx, they might pull the upset that will send Booga, Threats, and Craze out of globals, right? Like, we were looking at things just moments ago, and it seems like it was their tournament to take to kind of start the day off, but could have been further from the truth.
Oh my goodness.
Meanwhile, the action unfolding here. Aoxy, Jojo, Fishy Pikes, they've learned their lesson coming out of the previous rounds here.
They
look to make quick work.
They
do just that here to kind of send us on our way.
The early fight from the Spire, even the Spire NPCs is dealing some damage onto these players that are kind of just tunneling around, just trying to get these eliminations. It does look like Blue is dropped by himself, but he evens up the ties with a knock onto Monty. So it's basically him versus Scuffies in a 1v1. He misses that first shot. Now he's just down to his last one in the Outlaw, but he goes down to Scuffies. But you have to be careful. Top left of the map, the Spire's making some noise, and you know who else lands here.
Yeah, I was gonna say though, with missing those shots like that, you almost deserve to not walk away successful there. Like, Scuffy's team just managed to somehow find his grip and then clutch that one out big time. And you see Sphinx and Shadow just lurking. They hear what's happening, but they didn't quite take the jump there. Missed opportunities. Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual back to the brutal boxcar. Business as usual for them. It's almost now the bigger question is, what more can they do? They've already turned their sights on Acorn's team yesterday. They came in today and almost chose peace to some degree, right? They didn't and haven't done anything out of the ordinary. They've in fact played very, very standard games. But Jacob, look at this lurk.
Yeah, it might have been a missed opportunity to get the XP, take down the Spire yourself, but you gotta imagine after hearing the fight, knowing the Spire took some time to get taken down, now Shadow actually gets visual of where they're at, seeing Monty using that surf cube to fly across the land. This is where they're going to continue this chase, and I'm not sure when they're going to call it quits because they also need damage just like everybody else.
Yeah, they got to initiate this one quickly here, or they will lose plenty of time here. This team is just slowly opening the gap as far as the distance, and yeah, Cole bends behind that mountain, so he'll be out of sight and out of mind for a little bit here, and they might have really just missed their key opportunity. This could be the catalyst that sets them back. Oh yeah, they're really looking for this one now.
That boy is hawking them
And I
down,
saw them kind of
boy.
looking back in the minimap with the arrows, but I'm not sure with the line of sight that they actually spotted them out going on the chase. As Clicks, Higgs, and Yamzo have rotated from Supernova Academy. They're trying to isolate Cooper on the north side. This has been their strategy all season long. They have it uncontested, or at least they thought so. No damage onto Cooper just yet up until the tail end. Only about 30, so he reunites with Curly. Both trios converging back into one another, making sure they don't take too many early game risks. And this is what I'm talking about, the mental games that are going on with some of these teams. Everything that they practiced for up until this moment has changed for the most part. The way they're getting surged, the way they're able to push teams and getting eliminations, both of these teams for that matter.
Hey, very methodical too. Clicks continuously bringing and carrying along those extra heals for the fight too. So they're pretty much prepared for everything to happen here and unfold, possibly even go the distance in the storm. That was very interesting to say the least. Bryce Skittles Dash haven't quite caught a break here in the last 2 tournament days. I mean, even this one here, pretty tough. Only 4 points earned on the day. Some of which just in this game, that single Elam.
Almost makes you wonder if it was this fight here that they were able to get that first knock. I only see 2, King and Void on the other side of this exchange. Not too many other players in the mini-map, maybe one far off to the east as Bryce takes a little bit more damage. No shield gonna be remaining. Just a little bit of his HP gone as well. Those Skittles just creates a path for him to return. They're gonna heal up, feel a little safe, assess the situation. Is it worth fighting out this duo? And I do think it is, or at least for now. They haven't used too many materials, but the loot that they have lost in their loadout, you see a couple of empty slots. That's what they hope to gain out of this transaction.
Nice little shield crack right there. I was gonna say almost caught some toes there to King, but the builds come out. And honestly, 3v2, huge HP lead, should be wrapped up pretty quickly. Things are not going in Muzz and Shadow's favor, and this is what happens when you start to force the engagement, right? Almost a little too overextended, given that they were trailing behind that other team, and now Smiley, Chimp, and Salt here seem to come out ahead. This is bad, though. They were already off to, one might say, a really slow start, but then losing a teammate, right? So losing a damage there that they would have otherwise
Like using
gained
it
as
might
well.
lose.
This is just, yeah, bad for Muzz and Shadow's trio here.
Good shot, Clicks.
Let's look at the other side of that coin, though. Clicks, Yamzo, Higgs. They actually stole that Spire away from Reek, Cooper, and Curly, rotated back over Supernova Academy to catch one of them off guard. Gray is still there in the distance. They think somebody is going to be on high ground. You see the Superman sprite being used to laser out the builds, and I do think they might have gotten a knock. Yes, they do, on to Preston. 2 of the 3 members down. Higgs goes to clean it up. He takes an immense amount of damage. Yamzo as well, but Clicks is able to save the day, get that elimination. That's the 3rd player of that trio. They're wiped and sent back to the lobby.
Couldn't have asked for a better time Siphon either. Right there to really just keep him alive for a moment. Clicks, Higgs, Yamzo, they have so much ground to make up if they want to at least end this tournament with a good showing. You know, the win might be out of the question, but at the end of the day, those standings stay forever. We haven't seen them really be this off, you know, a tournament win all year. So there's going to be a time to kind of, you know, drop the ball and have a bad one. It's now, right? It's not before globals. So save the good stuff for globals.
I can kind of agree with that, especially since they have less pressure than most of the teams, especially coming into day 2. Not necessarily high up on the leaderboard, so they can kind of just play a little bit more calm, cool, collected, comfortable to what they practiced. As Kanata and Bolts Rapid doing the same thing, game after game, they build up, they immediately look towards this side of the map. For Blake, Diego, and Oliver usually end up in a priority position on top of the mountain. Trading off Surge, back and forth. But Diego, Oliver, and Blake, they're the ones out of these two teams that kind of run into struggles just like this, with more and more teams from the south, from the western parts of the map that usually traverse over in their direction and end up third-partying or at least threatening their position.
This is gonna get good.
There's not a hint of metal in Oliver OG's loadout right now. They don't have much heavy mats to work with. Not sure what all's happening here in this early game, but they seem to be off the pace for end game. Jigs Trio not moving a cent here. They're like, nah, you guys can get going. We're gonna chill here for a second.
It's not gonna be too hard for them to get on out. Oliver has to be careful trailing behind, but back on over here. They eventually had to go back for that reboot card. Muzz gets boxed up. He is in misform, but down on to Salt. He needs to siphon, but it doesn't come in time. Now Shadow's gonna be left by himself. 20 HP, one tick zone. They beam right through those builds and take them down, and that has got to feel like a heartbreaker for Muzz, Shadow, and Sphinx, because they are in second place when it comes to that global championship slot.
That elusive 28
They win the last
Once
game, and
again,
now they get out
there.
early.
That's the second time
Wow, 79
today they
people.
fall in the early game here.
That's tough.
And
You
they're
get to
coming off
4th
the
place,
win.
and now
That
you
win
probably
put
drop
them
to like
right
7
back
to 8
into
now.
the
They're
conversation.
gonna drop for
but
sure.
you know what? If you're a VG Money Rise, if you're Booga Threats and Craze, you're clapping your hands, you're stomping your feet, you're sitting up straight, you know, you're feeling good about this right now. That's that immediate competition off the track now.
And this kind of almost goes into kind of, well, I think we were talking about it during group stages, to where you're in a position where Vive, G-Money, and Rise, it's almost good that you have that much experience, and especially a leader like Rise, because we talked about how sometimes when you're in that position where you really don't have to do much, don't have to make too much noise on the leaderboard, just play your game out like normal, sometimes that does something in your mental. You change up the strategies and sometimes make a mistake. As Cole, Monty, Scuffies, they were the ones we saw rotate out of this direction. They're getting lurked on by Rapid, Kanata, and Bolts. They get the 3-2-1, but luckily for them, they spotted them out at the last second. Not too much game-changing damage is going to be received, so they're going to have a chance to kind of defend this spot.
I'm going to say Rapid's going to initiate the misform to the top. No. End up giving it up.
Oh, Ages went down.
Little risk assessment there.
One of them got knocked.
You know, sometimes you got to know when to pick and choose your battles, and with Rapid, Kanata, and Bolts so positioned right now to actually win the tournament here, I don't blame them for backing off here.
Especially when the zone is going in that direction. I agree with you there. It's too much risk, not enough reward if they did want to take a fight just like that. Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual kind of going back into the storm, floating around Utopia City. They're just trying to rotate. As the zone pushed everybody from the western side of the map in, they know that's going to be the congested, the stack side overall. So they're just sacrificing some HP, sacrificing some of this damage and time overall, so that way they can get a slower rotation in where it's not as congested as every other side. But that looked like a far pull, so it might be a little bit more congested than they first hoped.
I'm going back to the drop map. I'm trying to see.
Oh, Poyo and then went to Island, that's
why.
why.
They go all the way eastern and play
Island.
the outskirts. It's almost as if, I don't know, they're trying to like
So they got both.
get
They got
onto
both
someone's side of the map. Is it the right call? Is it not?
They got both
We'll just have to
Ooh.
find out who they end up crashing with here soon.
I'm wondering right now, like, I was gonna say, I got Bubble Shield coming out of Acorn right now. I know he's probably one of the best IGLs and thinks in and outside of that box, but Bubble Shields with no mobility, but he picks up the Surf Cube. Just making sure to stay safe. Bubble Shields alleviating some of the pressure. Opportunity to scare, just getting tagged up a lot by Curve, just basically have him drowned out. He tries to misform away, but it's just seconds too late. Tyler's there, cleans up that second down onto Magma. 2 of the 3 players of that trio are down. Cozer's trying to run away.
Oyo and them might win.
Like
they got
each
both
had their fun.
medallions. They got the Mythic. They got Height. They on Island.
So highlight for them there. Pick up some points. Visual breaks in a minute though.
I got
Team that's
most of them winning.
very
though.
much in
I
the
got
conversation right now. 385 coming into the game. 122 on the day. No simple task from them. You know, earning some points here. Definitely putting up a few elims.
Kind of get that priority position here. They haven't had to move too much all game long. They kind of concede that island to Agers, Acorn, and Poyo. It's not worth the risk fighting against one of the best teams in the lobby, especially when they can get mountain ranges elsewhere for their surge. Buka Crazen threats pretty quick to rotate out of Utopia City, kind of realizing the zone was pulling further and further away. They can't necessarily hold that same triangular formation that they do in most of the games when the zone pulls towards the center of the map. But you got to trust in Buga. Threats, Craze, they're very, very quick. They're calculated about where and why they rotate out, and they immediately build one of those towers that they have over towards Utopia, extending the distance to make sure they have covered as much of the render distance as possible.
Back to the floodgate. Hayes, Clicks, and Yamza go. And they're kind of right in between somewhat of a deadly triangle, right? You have Acorn's team up top. You saw Peterbot's team not really too far off, kind of playing this outside Eastern rotate too. So you have to wonder, this is definitely the right call right now to start repositioning back into the zone here.
Last time I remember taking the rotation yesterday, they found an elimination on that team using the zip line. Luckily for them, nobody floating around. They get over the Foxy Bridge, underneath the island. This is where they're kind of hoping it kind of pulls in their favor, but you see it goes a little bit more towards the south, kind of forcing Agers, Acorn, and Poyo off of the island in the direction of those mountain ranges between G Money, Rise, and Aviv. They haven't had too far of rotation so far in this game, landing over towards Outpost. They did get that one elimination. The only question mark I have for a team like this is what is their Storm Surge like overall?
Strategy yesterday was to just play slow and steady. They were one of the few teams that I think were doing, you know, just fine, kind of exchanging with rifles, not necessarily jumping onto players. But look at the feed. Agers finds Clicks with a quick knock. We already saw that that was far north there. We knew that Agers team was obviously securing that island there. It's that top-down vertical view. Clicks picked up. Back in the game here.
Ooh. Wow. I was waiting for it to update. I thought it was going to kind of fly upward, but 146 below the damage threshold. Another game where they're not able to find their footing in terms of being able to accumulate that damage. And then you include the fact that this game, unlike some of the others, is pulling far towards the south. So they're not even really able to get a track on some of these teams that are trying to beat them on the rotation. Up above, they have to watch out. Across the water, they have to be wary of another team, even on the mountain ranges. Luckily for them, they're literally a hop, skip, and a throw away from the zone where they can easily find their spot in with just one dash.
Yeah, they've used a lot of dashes, though. They've just continued to kind of replenish it on the way. So that's just showing you how dangerous of a spot they found themselves in. Not even just being below the surge, but just almost out of pocket, out of position. Acorn Poyo Ragers much more comfortable than their counters. Look at this. They just can't catch a break. Cold Ritual and Peterbot back and forth, almost like a tug of war when it comes down to their positioning in the lobby. Almost sent right back crawling, but they managed to kind of recover here and situate themselves back into it. But I thought for a moment there we would have seen an early knock.
Uh-oh. You see why they're crashing right now. They're below the damage threshold. They went after the first team they saw. Coincidentally enough, that's Kanata, Rapid, and Bolts. And it's active surge, 25 damage every 7 seconds. You almost gotta pop double minis just to give yourself a chance at 50 shield. You see huge chunks of HP missing out of Clicks and Yamzo as well. Higgs is the only one with HP intact. He's trying to pop those bigs, but they have not gone ahead and stepped any bit closer to getting damage on a Kanata.
Oh yeah, Clicks is the one.
Look at them, Kanata's team kind of waiting for the opportunity to fight back. Higgs jumps out. He breaks off to look for a new opportunity here. And this is just not good at all. 46 below.
Yeah, they done.
Couldn't catch a break
Clicks
in
and them
their
haven't been
team
playing
fall
good
once
today at
again.
all,
Just
bro.
a little
Oh my
bit
goodness.
early.
It's really unfortunate. But right before that, Lee Cooper and Curly, they found a team just sneaking around. It's just kind of one of those wonders to where when you're below Surge, you have less and less control over your game plan. You're almost forced to fight teams no matter who they are on the other side, no matter what position they're in. And on the other side, Cooper, Reed, and Curly, they're able to sit back, relax, kind of let that team hit that brick wall, fire shots, trade through, and another team's looking like they're hitting that same speed bump.
The holder here, or kind of recoups here. Only 184 above, though. They will have to fight here. Another team jumps in from behind them. It's a full team hop. And Cooper forced to misform. Luckily, they do have control of all these builds here. He'll escape for a second. Somehow, Curly buys a little bit of time and not long enough here. All up to Cooper right now. Can he at least get one of these trades? No. They secure the loot back off. This is bad.
Yeah, that was the quick stat curse. I'm gonna call that one the quick stat curse. They were just talking about Cooper, Reed, and Curly. 3 back-to-back second places in a row. The first time ever at NAC Finals. A blink of an eye, it goes away. Reed and Curly just get down, knocked out of the competition for this game, leaving all the pressure onto Cooper. There's not even very many placement points and points overall dished out through these teams in this game, so they have a mountain to climb if they want to continue to keep their position in the top 10 intact.
Stats guys, like, let me show you why it's not 4 back-to-back-to-backs. Oh man, it do be like that. Look at this, Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual positioned above Kanata's trio. Okay, anything can happen here and now. Here comes that lobby focus. This is what we saw before.
Yeah, I feel bad for any team that's like in the backside of the zone. Especially, you see how stacked it is on the southern edge. Kanata finds the opening onto Cyclops. His teammates might be there, but I'm not sure the chances of getting that one, as Bolts does get the cleanup. Even Cold getting it down onto Bleaks. They go in for the loot. They're having to use their misforms. Rapid from one side, Bolts from another. They had to take 2 different approaches, try to get anything. I'm not sure what they were able to grab, because I know Aviv's team also moved into the mix to try to steal away what wasn't theirs. Sometimes it might be worth the risk, but HQ sneaking around, gets that first shot on the Rapid. Oh my, Rapid, well-placed shot to fire back, gets the elimination.
Oh my goodness.
That was one of those scares right there.
You just don't know what, you know, what's waiting
about to
for you
get
on the
hot now,
inside of
Chad.
the
That's when
wall.
it
That's
gets real.
crazy. You know what? For a
This
moment
way it
there,
gets
Kanata's
real.
trio was almost flirting with not enough damage on the surge numbers there, but they put up the damage. They find that elim, and you know what? They buy themselves a little bit of time, but that overall was a very close one here for Game 9. Remember, folks, after this, there's just 3 more games ahead of us, then we're going to crown a champion. Kanata's team is in the race right now. Rise, G-Money, and Aviv. Not too far off, depending on how big of a game they can make here. We are inside the top 15. Peterbot's going to fall here. Cold is going to find one, but they are going to get the pickup just in time. But the laser comes through, and it's Kanata's trio from the low ground looking upwards as well. But they were distracted, and then they get eliminated instead.
Just a wild series of events from game to game to game. This FNCS final, they really dodged one there, able to get the revive. And here comes that kind of crash play right before it happened. This is what happened with Peterbot going down. It was Aaron on the other side. He got the down onto Peterbot. Luckily though, Ritual and Cold in the same box, hip to hip. They're able to save the day. Haven't tuned in with them in a while. Second place team coming into this game. Agers, Acorn, and Poyo. It looks like for now, they're going to be the teams that are inching closer and closer towards that high ground. It's really dependent on where this next zone pulls.
This is perfect. Boyo, Agers, Acorn. It's like they're playing a completely different game. Oh, we tune in with them. Silence, comfortability, high ground, medallions, loot. Like, it's just so different of a situation when you put yourself in the key positions to succeed. You really do see a night and day difference. You almost feel it in the ambience and the atmosphere. But here's something that's, once again, a fact. Bolts and Rapid are standing, and it's just a matter of time of whether or not they can go the distance here. One of the few that can be the champions here come the end of this. Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual well above the damage threshold, so this is just all about consistency and end game placements now. But Peterbot fighting his way through the make round. We know what that means. He's here to hunt. Cold dashed into that box too. They were ready to commit.
Peterbot just yoinks him in with the exotic outlaw, making sure that they're able to grab the body. That's what you see. Sometimes he just sits in some of those boxes, not necessarily to get all the damage in one shot, but just to pull them closer and closer. That way Ritual and Cold can try to clean this one up. 19 above the damage threshold. You talked about Bolts and Rapid being a duo. They're almost, I think, 31 points out of first place to start this game, and it's because of opportunities like this. When one of them goes down, they never call it quits. Rise, G-Money, and Aviv talk about trying to get to the global championship to start this game. They were in third place on the global championship leaderboard qualification outside of Mud, Shadow, and Sphinx, but them going down early have definitely turned the tables. Placement points are coming in. I think they might have stolen that spot back.
Hate to say it, but someone's got to
Boyo
stop
got
Agers,
hype.
Boyo, and Acorn.
He
If
got
you don't, I mean, it's literally their show right now. Ritual's going to
and they
fall here
focusing on
to
Peterbot,
their
too.
exact
Ooh.
hands. The pressure coming up from
They
top
focusing
down is
dead
just
on Peterbot
too
now.
much to handle.
Oh,
And Peterbot
this is
forced
good.
into the ultimate low.
See what they do.
Now, literally burning through his builds here, and they just aren't comfortable enough
focusing
here.
dead on
What was
Peterbot,
looking like a
literally on
lead being
Peterbot.
built is just getting sniped away now by Agers and the team.
And look at Agers. Look at where Agers is focusing this entire time. Right on the Cold, right on the Peterbot. He's looked at him like they were trying to get aggressive, but that got cut short, burning through the materials. Now with an open opportunity, Scuffies is going to be the name on that list that gets checked off. Peterbot gets the elimination. The Medmist smoke is down. He has some time here into the zone, but that also makes him a target. That green mist, it's like a beacon from a lighthouse. Agers, Acorn, and Poyo continue to put that pressure down from above.
Look at the tracking too. Cold finding Elans as well as players are dashing and misting all around him. Him and Peterbot doing it best here. And look, taking lead now, opening up the tarps here. G-Money and Aviv, though, have to play this one out just by themselves as well. And he's inside the storm. Finds a little relief, though, from the med mist. There's a player there waiting. He doesn't even have time to fight back. There's just pressure happening. And look at the moves. How bad do you want it? He's showing us he's here to play. King and Phaser now continuing to pop off here today as well. Doing an excellent job into the box to support King now. But Cold is finding all the tags, and another one presents himself. There's the knock. And you wouldn't even tell he's in the storm because the siphon is feeding him.
I don't think he got the last few of those knocks, though. That means he's on the clock, has to make his way in. He did so much damage. He took down so many teams. Everybody else in this game, Monster, is a solo. I know what you're thinking. They already have 3 wins so far. Could a 4th be out of reach? Nah, it's definitely within their grasp, and they're dropping down to take it. Agers, Poyo, they know what position they're in. Ozone taking damage. He goes down to Cold. 2 solos left on that low ground, and Curve is next on that list.
Cold is just going. At this point, he's like, yeah, you guys might win the game, but I'm here to win the war. He's going at it, finding points. Finally, now he gets taken out of 3rd place. Boyo, Agers, and Acorn are on a run of a century. Curve may have gone to the top, but it's only a matter of time. There it is, just shy of a 10 elimination game. They do it once again.
That was absolutely perfectly played at the end of the day. You said it, 9 eliminations to win 101 points out of that game, and dropping down Cold, Peterbot, and Ritual outside of the top 2, denying as many points as they can. That's the only way they can control the game. But throughout that end game, Monster, I was watching Agers, and he was just targeting Peterbot and Cold down below, from hard mats to the wood, from inside of the zone to the outside. He did would not give up on
But
trying
you
to
see
take
what
down that
Pollo and
team.
them are doing though.
Yeah,
So
right
this
there,
is the thing that I say
catalyst
about
where it all kicked
Fortnite.
off, and
If it's zero
it
bills,
just really
it's
shows
bills,
you
it don't
that
matter.
Aegis,
You
Pollo,
want
and
to find the
Acorn
high ground.
sticking to their
And so
original strategy
every
at the Demon's
person
Domain
today
is just paying
who
off in
prioritize
dividends.
the high
I mean,
ground
clearly,
has won today.
it's just preparation
Every
meets the
single
best
team
skill, right?
that
Like
has
this lobby has to
prioritized the
offer,
high
and
ground has
their
won.
strat
Everyone.
is so
Every team.
consistent, and
And
for
so
them
that's
to
the
win
key in this
another
moment where I see
game,
where it's like
that's just insane.
the
You don't
more
see
and more
that on
that you
any of your
prioritize height, you have a higher probability.
Four-game
That's something
win
that I've
so
been seeing
far
today.
for the team.
You
You
know what I'm
have
saying?
to imagine with 101
That's
points
crazy, bro.
throughout that game, they have to
Hey,
be in
listen,
first
if I'm
place.
Peter
But I only
Bot,
trust Zeke
bro,
to
I
let
know
us know.
Peter Bot is crashing out right now, bro.
I'm gonna
Peter
pass
Bot
out.
is
I'm gonna pass
crashing
out. It's
out.
fine. I hold on.
I don't think Peter Bot
All right,
won
all right.
one game.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I think the record we've seen in a Grands is like 6 BRs, right?
Yeah.
We are reaching critical mass here from Pollo, Acorn, and Agers. Guys, it's crazy that like whenever they go on to win these games from high ground, it always looks like the exact same way.
Yep.
They just have control. They have so many mats.
Exactly.
They've taken literally everything at their disposal. And they've like min-maxed the efficiency, the usage of what they have, the builds, the heals, the ammo, the locations. It doesn't matter where zone's pulling. They are ready to strike at the perfect time. Oh my gosh, Kelly. We have to see 2 more wins from them, right? If we get 2 more wins, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it.
We do need 2 more wins, although I do want to correct myself. I agreed with you there. And actually, Coyote today got 8 victory royales over the 2-day span for Asia. So I do think that they hold the record for the most victory royales in a major finals. But Pollo, Agers, and Acorn are definitely doing their best to be able to get up to that number.
just
They're
keeping
not going to be
high
able to
ground,
get
man. Look
8,
at
but they
this.
could potentially get close enough. Pollo,
They
Agers, and
are just
Acorn.
clearly keeping high
We've seen
ground.
them do this
And they're playing
time and
super
time
smart
again,
too,
being
man.
able to control the high ground so easily, so that
Yeah.
it almost looks like there's just a solo player on the high ground, whereas Agers and Pollo are down below getting those eliminations,
playing
because that's where they've
terrible,
fallen
bro.
just a little bit short of Peter-Bot's trio
So
from
Clicks
day
and them
one.
are just-
They may have the placements, but they
they're-
need
they're
those elims,
pushing
and that's
teams
exactly what they brought.
with no
I swear
materials.
their wins,
They're
it seems like
putting
they're getting
themselves in bad
assists from like all of these
positions.
mountains. I feel
They're
like
not
Zeke was right,
rotating
right? It kind of
quick
feels like
enough.
deja vu
Yeah.
every single time we
Clicks
see
and them
one
are
of these
playing
wins.
super
There's like
bad
one of these
today.
snowy
Super
mountains
bad.
next to them that they do
I
such
love
a
Clicks.
good
He's
job of
playing so
utilizing and
bad
making
today,
sure that they're
man.
obviously well established off of that natural
Yeah,
terrain
Pollo
over
has a
there.
plan. Seems
But yeah,
like,
it's just
man,
rinse
listen.
and repeat every single time. I mean, Acorn's just kind of holding it down up there, making sure they make
Man,
the
I
right
can't believe I
rotations.
say
He's
this,
like,
but
guys,
it
give me
looks
all
like
of your
Peter Bot's
heals.
playing checkers
And
and
Agers and Pollo just go
Pollo's
crazy.
playing chess, man. That's what it looks like to me
Guys,
out there.
What?
Yeah,
You
we're
have
in
to
two
see these
different
standings
games right now.
You have to see the standings.
Peter Bot's better, but he just.
Oh, we're
hot
gonna do
on
it
man.
now.
We're gonna do it now.
Oh, yo.
That is
We're gonna go to break. When we come back, we'll talk about it.
Am I tripping on that? Virgo, am I tripping? Okay, I wasn't tripping. Okay. Okay, I was just making sure. I was like, am I tripping on that? Wow, this is good. So Pollo and them are up by 1 point. Wow, they're up by a point, Pollo and them. This is good. Man, I'm gonna be honest, man. Clicks has to do something, man. I don't even think they're in the top 10 right now, are they? Because they were number 5 to start off, and they dropped down to 9. So after that game, I don't know where they dropped, but yeah. So I'm gonna tell you what Pollo's been doing. Pollo's doing what Peter Bot used to do. So Pollo and them are dropping to get the mythic and the medallion. When island spawns, they're rotating to island. They're getting that next mythic and that next medallion. And so now what they're doing is they're getting the medallions, they're getting the mythics, they're getting positioning, they're getting high ground, they're looting, like they're doing everything correct, Pollo and them. And so it's so hard to really beat somebody when they have everything. Like, that is so hard, bro. Yeah. Like, they're pushing for all the good loot. They get in position, and I mean, they're doing everything right. Poyo and them. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, this is gonna be way better, man. I mean, this is the last day right here. It's the last day. So the top 2 are gonna be able to qualify for globals, and so this is huge for people, you know, being able to qualify for globals, you know. Yeah. Yeah, so we got 3 games left, y'all. Click's still number 9. Okay, so Click's is 9 right now. Okay, so he's 9. Gotcha. Hey, this gotta do better, bro. He gotta step it up, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going right to the standings, okay? If you missed it, I don't know how we keep doing this.
Oh, Pollo's
but
up by
after
1.
that last game, okay? The Pollo won, okay? We are still 1 point difference. We started the day and we thought, oh, Pollo, you know, they're 100 points behind Peterbot, you know. Is the Pollo versus Peterbot dream alive? And yes, it's very much alive, because they started the game with a VR, they closed the distance, and now we're just going back and forth, guys. I cannot believe it. And to think all of this happened because you think, oh yeah, Pollo's far ahead. No. In that last game, Cold has to solo clutch his game. 3rd place, 10 elims as a trio. And that's what's keeping them alive right now.
We got a little taste of it yesterday. Game number 3, Cold solo clutched once again, and just time and time he is able to do it. Honestly, Peterbot and Cold are able to bring out these incredible solo clutches, and that's why, even without a single victory royale compared to the 4 that Acorn's trio has, they are just 1 point behind them. It does not
crazy,
matter
though.
if
For
this
them
is a
not
trio
to win
competition.
one
You can make
game
it a
and they're
duo. You
literally
can
in
make it a
second
solo
place is
competition,
crazy.
and
They
these
won
players
no
are
game
able to
and they're in
hold
second
themselves
place.
up the
That's
leaderboard
intriguing.
through eliminations, through sheer will force.
That's
They're able to
crazy.
do it so many times.
I mean, we're just getting spoiled at this point. This is crazy. I don't even know what to say half of the time. It just, how are these trios kind of doing this? I mean, we're seeing solo clutches across the board today, but to be the one to go ahead and keep your team alive, right? As you can see right there, Peterbot just went down in 10th place. Cold is left alive as a solo from 10th place and ends up clutching up that 3rd place spot. Absolutely incredible. So I mean, that's such a long time to live as a solo. It's crazy that he's kind of able to do that. I don't even know what's going on anymore. I mean, it kind of feels like we should just be wrapping up the day right now, but we still got 3 more games. Like, how is that possible?
Oh man, I don't even know. This fight at the top is so insane, but you cannot forget they've already qualified to the global championship. If we turn our attention back to the standings, we're looking at a top 4 finish. We saw the last game Muzz was in that top 4, but because of this last game, they placed 28th with no elims. They get eliminated, and then Aviv, G Money, Rise, they jump in, they swap places.
Both of them winning, man.
This is literally going to come
both of
down
them can
to
figure
a
out how to
wire
get
in top
positioned
4,
and get hyped
and that's
this next
before
game.
any
I
other
got
trio
both of
who's
them winning.
already
They've been playing
qualified
super good,
decides
both
to
of
make a
them.
play for
They've been playing
some of those
really
higher
good.
end spots, guys. What is going on? This is
Hey,
so
Cold
close
is nice.
everywhere.
Yeah, Juicy, he is nice. Cold
NA
is nice.
wanted to make sure that you were ready and anticipating the global championships. They wanted to put on a show for everyone to keep those hype levels up, and that is exactly what NAC is doing, especially when you are within consideration of Kanata, Rapid, and Bolts. Currently sitting in 3rd place with 525 points. It is almost but confirmed that they will be making their way to the global championships. But like you said, Zeke, with 3 more games to go, so much can still change. But what we know is not going to be changing is Bolt's and Rapid's ability to be able to make it to the end game every single time.
Yeah, most of them have been
I
playing
tell you what,
good,
though, right? They kind of maintained that streak
they've
of
been
getting
playing
top
good.
8 right there. There was a little bit of a slip up, placing 11th place right there, but you know, I'm gonna be a little greedy today, right? We got a 1-point difference between Peterbot and Acorn. You know what? I want Kanata in the mix now. I want him to win this next game, and I want it to be even closer at the top. Not between 2 teams, but between 3.
Bro, just think, right? If we get a game where Poyo and Peterbot are eliminated and Kanata does win, yeah, that's it. Like,
Yeah.
Yes, I'm changing the script right now. Casters, get ready. Save me. I have to change the script. I'll be right back.
Well, the script might be changing here, folks, because Kanata, Rapid, and Bolts are one of those teams that are also vying for a global championship spot. One more good game. They are so far ahead, away from that 3rd, 4th, and 5th place team.
Yeah, and it's crazy because you look at the standings, it's not even like they had a bad game. They still had an 11th place with several eliminations. It's just that Cold played incredible. Let's see what's going to happen here, though, for game number 10.
This is good. This is good, man.
Major 3
we got
finals,
3 more
game
games, y'all.
10
3
is
more
here.
games.
This is the back half of the end of the tournament, Jacob. And, you know, I just want to once again highlight how exceptional that clutch by Cold was, because we couldn't have a 1-point competition if it wasn't for how well he managed to play in the end there. And, you know, it's just the story's writing itself, right?
Yeah, and I feel like everybody that's in contention has had their solo moments. Agers on the 1st place team. We just saw Cold. We were talking about Rapid. There's so much on the line here, because even the prize pool 1st to 2nd place is almost $100,000 difference. So there's just so much on the line, which includes those global championship spots, which kind of leads me to kind of start the conversation of, you always talk about 1st place landing on 2nd place or vice versa. Now imagine the lead is so far ahead from Booga and the next best team underneath. Maybe they start to control their own destiny.
That's exactly what I was thinking. When are these other teams gonna just go out there and take note of what the best of the best are doing? I mean, very clearly, you know, Fortnite's almost evolving. It's becoming the norm that you can just go ahead and do plays like that. Not only is it interesting for us, the spectators, but it is best interest for you, the player, too. So yeah, Booga Threats and Craze really want it. I mean, it might just make sense. Hey, Aviv, G Money, you gotta go. Rapid, Kanata, Bolts, you know what? You gotta go, right? Like, someone's gotta stop these other teams too if you want to make it to globals. That's the most prestigious thing that's on the line here, besides, of course, the trophy.
Just 3 more games to get that job done, Monster. It sounds like a lot, but it truly, really isn't. Just 3 different opportunities. You can't make too many mistakes. Eliminations are a must, as Neko. Liam and Zabi over at the 1st order. They do have 2 eliminations so far, so they're not able to take down the full trio. Somebody around here might be floating around trying to get those reboot cards, but at least for them, they were not only able to get the 8 points for the eliminations, push that team out, and give themselves a chance here to start to loot up and play out the full game and not waste any time.
Quan spent a lot of time fighting his team the last game, just kind of lurking about. Seems like he might be looking to set things up very similarly, but Power Blue's onto this time, not playing that Water's Edge, sticking hip to hip a little bit more closely, given how quickly they were sent back to the lobby last game.
I see him, though. Yep, I would say I see him there. I saw the 3 different arrows. Acorn, your green does not blend in well enough. Luckily for them, though, he disengages on out. Tries to go ahead and play with the rest of the team. He probably just doesn't see them out there, doesn't like what he has, but clicks Yamzo and Higgs, again, back-to-back games, looking to get aggressive, but it's Peterbot! It's Clicks, Higgs, and Yamzo versus Peterbot, Cold and Ritual. They took the fight on over to Brutal Boxcars, and they reached that quickly because of the railing.
I'm trying to figure out why.
They pushed
What's
Peter
going
Biden
on here? Where's the personal vendetta in this one? They're probably thinking like, hey, you remember that Major 2 finals thing that happened? Yeah, let's go talk about that. Come meet me at the boxcars.
Oh, this is
good. They're just here to mess around, putting some tags down. Nothing really turned out from it just yet. I doubt they stick around much longer.
This is early.
I want to say that, but at the same time, this FNCS has me in a loop trying to predict what's going to happen, what's on some of these teams' mind. And another one right there. Clicks is just dropping down, close the distance. But this is where it gets a little dicey and even a little risky for Clicks, Yamzo, and Higgs if they want to continue to push this. Inside of those buildings, there's so many twists, turns, places that you can hide that it is a little bit of a risk to continue to fight it in. But it does look like that's the only thing on their mind right now.
Yeah, they pushing.
Yeah, they're like, you know what?
This
that
is
whole
good.
tweet about Peterbot's gonna fight everyone who wants the Spire. Well, guess what? We want the Spire. We're not good with just top 10. Clix and team want to fight for more. You gotta respect him for trying to do so. Here it is. Clix goes in, but Peterbot is smart and sharp. A big tag there is gonna put Clix on the back foot. Now it's Peterbot's world.
This was a huge part of Clix, Yamzo, and Higgs' game plan up until Peterbot decided to land over here. They fought for this fire. They pushed teams out. And now the tables have turned coming into this major, and they're trying to stick back to what works. And that's just fighting for the brutal boxcars while taking their loot. They didn't take too much time to try to make this play happen, but you said it yourself, the tables have been turned from one well-placed shot out of Peterbot. He does it again. Down goes the Yamzo from one side to the next, keeping everybody on their toes, and he continues to deal a huge amount of damage. Yamzo is going to be the next one hurt. Clix is now by himself as a solo. Three mean dogs staring him out, and they're ready to take a bite out of him, but he's fighting back. First shot's going to land, but it's not going to be enough. You got to give him an A for the attempt, but you got to give Cold Ritual and Peterbot an S+.
Oh,
I can hear Flacity now yelling King Peterbot and all the other kind words. You know what it is and what time it is. Peterbot, Ritual, and Cold are here to play, and you know what? That's 12 more points for them as well. You can scratch that 1 point lead. It is what it is, and that's a crazy fight. And you know what? You have to, again, respect Clix, Higgs, and Yamzo. They need to do something more because what's happening up north against Reet, Cooper, Curly, that isn't working either, right? So to mix things up, you know what? It is very entertaining, to say the least.
That's literally putting it lightly, too, as HQ Leaks just trying to survive. Their duo here rotating around this side of the map.
In the world
they kind of led over towards the left, the snow biome over on the same southern pool. And you can see why there's not a lot of loot down there, especially since the team is on top of the mountain. But HQ is fighting for his life. Only one build left on the both of them because Leaks is in the same spot. But he lands a good shot on the blue. Dashes out. He's trying to create distance while his teammate Cube is able to actually get the knock. Not able to clean it up, though. That's going to be the biggest difference maker.
Yeah, got to get those finishes, but this team does live to see another day. Just overall having a pretty tough tournament day, though. See those points not necessarily in their favor.
Yeah, I like this right there. He was able to get the down and just... Unfortunate enough, he knew they were right behind him. Low HP, not able to clean it up. Has to use the misform to disengage, but... I do like the scrappy attempt to try to survive a fight like that, which they are going to. Shadow, or I should say Curve, Tyler, and Josh trying to fight on the southern end of Canyons Crossing on top of that mountain range. And this is where it gets a little dicey because if you haven't prepared for this fight, you are going to burn through a lot of your materials very quickly.
They're just cranking up right now, but look at this slow side angle here from Curve. Oliver OG doesn't even look to claim it. He just gets down with his team, but they have control of these builds. I'm not sure what all is going down here, but Oliver OG and Blake are losing the plot right now for sure. These are not their builds. How do you end up in all of this just territory
I don't know
of your
how
opponents
OG qualified
on a single layer?
Well, I ain't gonna lie to you.
But
I remember, bro,
seems like they kind of re-controlled things for a second there.
I remember that.
Oliver OG fighting back now. Forcing Tyler, Curve, and Josh to regroup.
Yeah, I remember him. I don't know how he...
Right at the edge of the Canyons Crossing, so there's going to be no one here to bail them out.
There's going to be a third team. I wonder if anybody even saw them kind of lurk in, because I know they're crouched down in the distance. Trying to sneak up, trying to figure out where that opening to the cover is at. They're striking now, and they get good damage onto Josh. Tyler was already weak, so if they continue to push in, that will be the opening that they're looking for. But you hear the misform come out. They're just going to disengage on out. Blake and Diego also creating a little bit of distance so they don't get pushed out of here. But overall, the full trios up on top are going to be safe, and Curve and his trio down below are going to create some distance.
Just watching it all go down. Oliver OG, Diego, Blake pushing to try to finish up what they started here. Those fresh builds, that's all the information they need right here. Protecting the back right now.
Good minis, no mobility though. Kind of the give and take you kind of have landing on this side of the map. Not as many access to some of those dash sprites. If you don't get a cape, It's almost good luck to you as Blake and them continue to go around the outside of this map. They kind of funnel themselves downward towards Canyon's Crossing, and they have one team behind them they were originally facing. There's another team, a 4th overall team on the other side of Canyon's Crossing, spraying into this direction. Just make it hard for either one of these two teams down below to build confidence in this fight.
Still looking though, Josh, Tyler, Curve, not here to give up just yet. Seem to have kind of regrouped, but look, no material, Jacob. Do they take the fight? Do they try to just gather elsewhere?
Supreme, go to sleep, bro.
It's risky too.
You pass your
You continue
bedtime,
to fight.
bro. Go
Third
to
parties
sleep,
are
bro.
there. You disengage. Third parties are there. Well, guess what? There was 4 teams. Well, let me introduce you to team number 5 on the eastern side of the mountain, and team number 6 to the southern side of the mountain. Might as well just converge on this location, which surprises me because you see the zone pulling all the way towards the north. You'd think players want to be proactive to try to get there, but nah. They need damage. They need eliminations. They're trying to close the gap. Oliver OG is going to be the first one dropped. Curve is going to get credit for that one, but in the blink of an eye, he gets taken down as well. Diego and Blake are forced to fight right back.
Not gonna lie, you know, just moments ago, I was like, yeah, no one's gonna come down to the Canyons Crossing. Who's gonna bail you out? And then everyone shows up. I just can't wrap my head around this. The zone's not even near this area, but somehow this has become the attraction point for team after team, and this couldn't be going down in a worse area because they all get to look down on you and put that pressure in. But hey, Diego, Oliver OG come out on top. They still catch a couple elims. So it will work in their favor nonetheless.
And I think because of those two teams, basically one team winning out, the dust settling, the zone pulling towards the north, you're essentially forcing them to go their separate ways, especially it being this early in the game. Haven't really been able to get your loot, your resources, and everything that you need. The island this time around pulling on over to this side of the map. Kind of makes me question why King, FaZe, or PHN weren't the ones to go for it. So they kind of concede it to a whole nother team on the other side, but they're still making their way over in that direction. I think the way this game has been played out with Peterbot sneaking on over to Lone Wolf, Clicks lurking on over to Lone Wolf, they kind of are just having that double take. Maybe in the back of their mind, they're just worried about teams just hiding anywhere at all.
Yeah, just kind of living in the memory of the game before. You get caught off like that, definitely will do something to you. Booga's not see visuals right there? Oh, I was gonna say, okay, he's behind the mountain. But of course, that visual nameplate, I'm like, wait, was he at the tree and just glanced at him?
Ooh, I like a first. I like a story here. Praise has the chance to qualify his first FNCS LAN. I'm here with it, along with one of the greats, Booga, Threats, and him, longtime teammates. They have the chemistry, and that's why Kelly kind of broke it down perfectly. They were kind of missing something as a part of their team. They pick up Craze, and just new life, new resurgence. Trust in Booga, the IGL. Threats, you know he can get all the damage in the world, and Craze is kind of that clutch player, the fragger that just gets him out of some tight spots like they did to close out Game 1 yesterday, or Game 6.
It definitely will be a nice little storybook finish to his year's end. Can you get that first land in the books? Almost set up the next generation for the new year to come. That will be a big deal for Craze. Hickory and Curly underneath the island right now. Plenty of teams kind of in the vicinity, but they're just going to keep a low profile, get the recharges going as they need.
I'm actually surprised that Shrine is even still accessible. Probably the team down below just went straight up top, kind of gave it up, left it for free. They prioritized the medallion, but that's some superhero upgrade. That's some loot that pops out of there. And then replenishing the dashes if you used any. But the zone pulled towards the north, so instead of Kanata, Rapid, and Bolts going on the hunt for their surge on each side of the map, just kind of based up perfectly the island north of Crime City. You can kind of see the near edge of the zone there on the bottom right-hand corner, so it is pulling not only towards the north, but to the northwest overall.
Yeah, you see how prepared they are. Like, just as Kanata was kind of making his ascent up that base there, I mean, so many minis, heals. Look at the base of the mountain, just everything you can really need, of course, to go for trades, go for tags, kick things off here. Agers, Koyo Acorn trying to make a move right now for better positioning. They're going to be in the crossfire of Kanata.
Not too bad. Going into this game, though, I want to point out Agers, Acorn, Poyo, in the lead by 1. But due to that Ritual, Cold, and Peterbot fight on Eclipsiamzo and Higgs, they scored 12 points. So now the lead shifts back on over to Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual in motion by 11. I'm not going to be able to keep score all game long, especially as we end towards the end game. But it just goes to show how back and forth it has been, not just yesterday, today, but each and every game and each and every minute that passes throughout those games. And Aviv, Rise, and G-Money, they're feeling that same pressure. Very, very different than their counterparts at the top of the leaderboard, but they're in 4th place. 454 points so far going into this game, and they have a little bit of a cushion. About a 41-point lead over Muzz, Shadow, and Sphinx, who are directly on their heels.
Yeah, I just feel like the difference for Acorn's team has been really their ability to execute high ground. They have just gotten it, held it. They've done it at the perfect amount of distance between themselves and the other layers. Like, they're making it look very, very straightforward. I mean, we tuned in last game, and like I said, there was almost an eerie silence and ambience because they were on the dead side of the rotation there and with a little bit of elevation, and no one, not a single team, was able to give them a little bit of resistance there. So just their execution and their ability so far to play for height has been so excellent.
Oh.
Wow. Kind of essentially one pumps him, takes him down. Another elimination, 4 more points. So depending on the eliminations, Acorn's team, 15-point lead, continuing to grow. This is where they do that trick, use the dash, use the launch pad, immediately making their way on over towards that island. And even though it's not up now, you know as well as I do, there's that little circle that knows, like, hey, he's in this vicinity. That's, I think, what they're looking for here.
Looking for something. A little light at the end of the tunnel. Peterbot, Ritual, Coldo setting up right now. Let's see what's going on here with Aoxy. You've got a minute to breathe some visuals, possibly insight here. Ooh, below the search threshold, though, Jacob, at the Crime City.
Yeah, I feel like those... Obviously, the 3 eliminations matter, but they don't matter as much as eliminations through the mid game, because that's off spawn. That's only 300 damage. It gives you enough flexibility to rotate through some of these early zones, but when we get towards 5th, 6th, 7th zone and on, you can see that the inability to be proactive to get surge kind of hinders your game plan, takes a little bit less control away from the teams. 152 below, and it's falling further and further because now they have to continue to rotate in towards the northwestern side of the map to where, yes, they're going to get closer to some of these teams, but they're going to be on the heel of these teams where they have a little bit of advantage being able to look back, just like Visual Grades and Diminish are doing.
Yeah, they have proven, Aoxy, JoJo Pipes, that they could be a great endgame team if they could just make it there. We'll see how far they can push it this time. The Visuals, Braids, and Diminish, they have a lot of work to make up for. This is going to be scary either way, and like we said, you got to get to endgame first, though. Visual, Braids, and Diminish with the excellent counter attack there. And they win not only a boatload of damage, but look at the material refresh for them. This is really good, too, thinking about these mountains that might come into play right now. So, kind of perfect, actually.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think the lobby is hoping it continues to pull west for entertainment purposes. Maybe we go north towards this mountain. Maybe we go towards the east, change the elevation, but active surge. I was thinking I heard something there with the shields being cracked. When I saw Storm Surge active, I was right to think Aoxy is kind of suffering below the damage threshold, trying to make his way in, and instantly gets deleted. Just a tough situation to be in, but for Visual Grades to diminish, they get another couple of points for that elimination to keep themselves in stride.
What do you think about this positioning right now? Just on the outskirts, leading with the rotate, the first to kind of actually follow the half in, half out away from the congested spots. I think this is just what they're doing differently to everyone else that is giving them a night and day end game performance. And it's just like right in front of you. You would have thought that you could have studied that coming out of day 1, but maybe you just couldn't because the lack of games. It's kind of crazy to think that they were taken out in 2 out of their 6 runs yesterday, and they still have more victory royales than the entire lobby can even fathom acquiring in a single tournament. This is just incredible stuff. But look at this highlight here.
Oh my goodness.
As far as replays for
Peterbot
getting knocked.
That's revenge. Zabi took down Peterbot. Peterbot took down Neko. rotating through Lone Wolf, and now Cooper is going to be stuck by himself. He's above the damage threshold. They're being pressured by multiple teams, forced towards the outside. 5-tick zone, but he's starting his med kit, but the audio visual skills spots him out and forces him to cancel before eventually goes down to dash. The team keeping those points in-house, making sure nobody is able to steal those away. And that's a great pick-me-up. Maybe your confidence boost deepen. You're able to take down Cold, you're able to take down Ritual, get eliminations. They have 6 so far. It might be the second half of the day, but I talked about the life-changing amount of money that is up the leaderboard, and higher you go, the more you get.
Working their way up.
Yeah, by far the best game for them so far. As far
Poyo
as
and them
performances
always
go.
look to get hype, bro.
Still see a little
This
glimpse
is
of
what they
Muzz's
do
team
so
still alive.
good.
Nettles Trio under Surge.
This is what
but
Poyo do.
Features,
This is what they do
Acorn,
so good, bro.
Just again, they have this high ground. They have the positioning set up. They're the first to start playing.
This is
for
what
that
Poyo and
little
them
bit
do
of
so good. They get
height
positioned
here, and
at
they're
the
going
right
to be
time.
the last to rotate once again and just build right on top of the next group of players. This might lead them to another victory. I mean, you're watching it potentially just roll out right before you.
Dominating, bro. Poyo and them are dominating, man.
You guys kind of saw that stat for a second. This team right here is 1 win away from tying a record that was set by Poyo himself along with Peterbot. 5 wins in NAC through the FNCS Grand Finals. Poyo, I think, wouldn't say he necessarily plays with a chip on his shoulder, but in essence, baby, all the shine going on over to Peterbot during their incredible and historic run through last year. And he has proven like, hey, I did that too. I was a big part of that team that found that success, and I can do it with you, or I can do it without you.
Look at this, though. Ritual by himself. This is his opportunity. It's his time now to see how far can he push his team ahead. I mean, we saw Cole do, we saw Peterbot do it countless times before in previous tournaments, and Ritual has had his day in the sun, but right now in here, if they want to maintain their competitive edge for the back half of the tournament, it's about clutching up. Kanata Bolts and Rapid are doing just that too. These is big opportunities now to find some points. They absolutely need them. They want to be in contention for the Grand Championship here. Nicely done there. Great refresh, but no heavy mats being yielded out. I mean, at least Bolts is still cap, so not bad at all. The zone's going south. They got a long ways to go here.
Yeah, Ritual being by himself. This is looking like a perfect scenario for a team like Kanata and them if they want to continue to rise up the leaderboard, close the gap that we were talking about in between games. But it's really all up to Ritual. Poyo, Agers, Acorn looking like they're staying alive, but their high ground kind of stolen away, but it's only for now. 8 zone, very, very early for anybody kind of cemented as their own. Ritual somehow, some way found that elimination, staying above the damage threshold. That's the most important thing here as a solo.
Let's go, King. Let's see what he got. Ritual still holding on. That's definitely exciting. Booga, Craze, and Threats. How badly do they want it? They are still in this end game right now. This is surely a chip on Muzz's shoulder. Ritual looking back inside the storm. He might actually find another set of eliminations here. That's some wood builds right there. They're gonna have to break through. He finds one. That's a huge knock there. And don't forget the other one's extremely weak, and players on the sides though. He jumps into the storm. The greed kicking in right now, but he knows that he's got the mist form. He's got nothing to worry about. The siphon to keep him up as well.
That's 4 more points. That's 4 more points, keeping this one close between them two. We saw Peterbot clutches. We saw Cold clutches. And now we're seeing an opportunity here at a Ritual clutch as well. Oh, well, I'm not saying I cursed him, but he just went down in the feed to Batman Joe. Visuals, Braids, and a Minish. They do have the high ground. Visuals sacrificing the HP to make sure they have a cemented position in the sky through and through. But they look to the backside of zone. That's Acorn, Agers, and Poyo. A huge threat to any team in this lobby.
Well, I looked away, I looked back. How did the Minish, Visuals, and Braids get high ground? I mean, that'll be a story for a different day, but game 10 might finally yield out some fresh winners here.
Ooh.
This is going up and over the mountain as well. Take a look at how far Ritual managed to push, though. He had a couple elims. He had his chance to, of course, do something big, but the edit was a miss. For that reason, he couldn't exit out fast enough. But hey, he did get placement points as he broke into top 15 there. Poyo, Agers, Acorn opting to go to low ground. This might be a signal to the rest of the lobby that they're here to get some elims here and now. We all know this is how you start to win your tournament games here. How far can you push those points? Not a Bolts Rapid still in the game right now. Being actually focused by Agers Trio across the way.
Yeah, they're just full lobby focusing that team right in front, just not really wanting them to take a step forward at all, trying to cut off that path. Their time to rotate has definitely come. Poyo landing a couple shots right before using that misform to disengage on out, making every team that was trying to beat them on the rotation pause and rethink that scenario. As they get to the front side, they go deep into the zone, build some boxes, throw the meta smoke down. It's a sacrifice they're willing to make because now they have priority over every one of these teams.
Right below them is Kanata's trio once again just looking up, getting a couple little chip damage in there, but Booga's team is also giving them something to think about, but it's the mountain that's got to play in its course here. Look at how they're starting to get suffocated out, losing a little bit of that mobility, not too much flexibility to rotate through. They're going to have to go up vertically here. Agers, Acorn, Poyo find another elimination, couple mats here to take on the road, but Bolts and Kanata are still in this game here. Bolts has just been the MVP of this trio, and he is proving why. He could just get a siphon. This will give him a lot of opportunity to make some big plays, but it's Agers, Acorn, and Poyo who are just comfortably running things down low, but it seems like they might be run out of material.
Yeah, great plays by Kanata, though, essentially clearing the path for Bolts to move through. Front side of the zone, Misform finds him there. Medallion changing hands as well. Visual Praise and Diminish haven't been tested. Nobody's able to look up because of all the struggles going on down below. Bolts with the Medallion goes up and over, lands another crucial shot onto somebody, but he finally goes down. His run comes to an end, but Kanata still trying to keep this clutch intact for their team, keeping it respectable, trying to overtake Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual on that leaderboard.
You saw what he did there. Misform to the front side, now putting shots up behind, but the edit was open. He does damage Poyo, and Gretz finishes him up. So this is actually evening things out, and that's going to unlock him a top 3, a potential second place now. Acorn and Agers healing in the zone. Visual Braids and Diminish might have jumped down a little prematurely. Agers comes back, but no, he gets traded out, and now it's just a matter of time as Acorn is waiting this one out inside the storm. Visuals has no idea where he's at. Shots start to come in from the side. And look at that. They're already at 10 eliminations as a trio. And the win is theirs.
They had height.
This was a team that had 412 points, and guess what? Back-to-back games with over 100 plus points from a winning team overall. These leaderboards are absolutely being shaken up after every single one of these moments. Even Booga, Threats, and Craze making it far into that game. It's really all dependent when it comes to those global championship teams about how far they go. They're almost playing their separate tournament.
I mean, a win is going to surely be the difference maker to throw Visuals, Braids, and Diminish up into a whole new bracket now, giving a VG money rise, you know, definitely a run for their money, right? Those are teams that fell a little bit early, Mudshadow and Sphinx as well, so it's going to be pretty competitive. Take a look at it. They were the one taking things into their own hands here. Once they took high ground, they just never looked back, right? We saw almost Agers and team concede. They took the low ground intentionally at some point, but it handed this team the victory royale in the end.
Yeah, and you can kind of see these mountain ranges that you were talking about while casting help them control all of that game chaos. But it's a
chat. I ain't gonna hold y'all, man. I'm probably done here, man. I'm over here dozing off, y'all. I am exhausted. I am tired. I'm gonna go ahead and get some rest so I can go ahead and be ready for the next stream. So I do love y'all, man. I'm gonna get some rest, man. I'm tired. I definitely enjoyed this today. Love y'all. See y'all in the morning time, Team Region. God bless. Keep being legendary, man. I love y'all, Team Region. Till next time, man. Love y'all.